So I think you're the NASA representative. Is that all right?
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, if you guys are just gonna sit here and talk amongst yourself in the echo chamber, I'll let you have.
It's Blue's channel.
Yeah.
This is Blue's channel. How dare you, Blue? How dare him?
Just blew up.
Of course he blew up.
Echo chamber. We're in Blue's server.
He's gone. He's gone.
How disrespectful.
Wow.
Shame.
He lost his
Blues.
mind there.
Well, Blue's got an echo chamber.
Yeah.
Echo chamber.
Here we are.
We're in Blue's echo chamber. He ought to rename his server Blue's Echo Chamber.
Hey, are your horizontals parallel with the plane of the horizon over there, where you are?
Are my horizontals horizontal to the horizon?
Parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Mine are in Australia, though.
Sweet. Mine are here too.
Awesome.
What about you, Lael?
I got your numbers right.
I don't even know what that means.
It's just as easy as 1, 2, 3.
It's a bunch of gobbledygook that means nothing.
You have to open your mind.
Wow.
Imagination is all you need.
Oh dear.
Don't take advice from fools. 'Cause everything that they say is in vain.
The horizon always raises to eye level.
Yeah, they take advice from fools. We all know what they do is in vain.
Yeah, an object with 3 angles. It's a triangle.
That have 180 degrees.
Some
but I
do,
made
some
one
don't.
up. Yeah, but I made one with more than 180 degrees.
In reality, that's where we
But
are.
we're not concerned with that.
Everything is relative to you. You just have to say it in generalities. Just like those straight lines of curves.
I win at bingo every time.
Drive down the road, don't you ever swerve. And I don't know
Show me where it says the triangle has to have 3 straight lines.
where all of this goes.
Yeah, but I made one with more than 180 degrees.
Never take advice from fools. 'Cause everything that they say is in vain.
Show me where it says the triangle has to have 3 straight lines.
Never take advice from fools. 'Cause everything that they do is in vain.
So Bill, I'm not gonna bet you on this one. I think you got a very good chance that no, Randy's not gonna go up there and
My
do this.
prediction
Beat
beat everybody else's. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, with 3 straight
It
lines.
doesn't say anything about straight. Show me where it says the triangle has to have 3 straight lines.
I know the game that you're playing.
You gotta go a step
And
beyond.
I know exactly what's on your mind.
Step beyond Euclidean
You
geometry.
got your playbook, it's alright.
Step beyond Euclidean geometry.
Your model dictates what you will find.
No, spherical access.
I don't know
Cool. It sounds like an animal that eats nuts.
where all of this goes.
Spherical access.
Don't take advice from fools. 'Cause everything that they say
I win
is
at
in
bingo
vain.
every time.
Never take advice from fools. We all
many
know
humps are on
what
a
they
sphere?
do is in
Basically,
vain.
it's a giant parabola.
Parabola.
So big. Don't expect a fun house mirror. Don't go off the rails there. Forget scale. In fact, it's so big you can see it from space.
Parabola, then.
It's parabolic in nature. The whole
Wow.
Bolivian
Really?
Salt Flats. It's curved. The great wise QE hands down the doctrine.
See, it is. It's like a roast of QE again. It's spilling over.
But do you even know anyone else who follows everything they say to the T anyway?
Yeah, and that's also unfortunate. that it's just kind of like a smorgasbord, a buffet, you know, pick and take whatever you want. That's great. That's a great argument. Let's go with that.
Like you do, you mean?
So, hang on, is it a mantra, a parroting, a cult, or is it all people with separate? Which one is it?
Yeah, like many cults, there's subcults, subsects.
Oh, right, you're just going to have both at once. Got it,
Yeah,
cool
there's
story.
this one church, and then there's a fractioned off another church. This is like a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Like the San Diego cult, like the comet cult sort of thing, where they just all like kill themselves because they think the comet's gonna bring them into some sort of portal, take them into like the afterlife or something without pain. I think that's the cult. Like it cult mentality is there to, you know, not use logic. We use logic, so I don't get that.
Who gets to put people in these cults?
Of parroting.
Who gets to put people in these cults?
It's called
Yeah.
Is that you that does that?
And what do you have to do to what constitutes you being labelled one of these?
Yeah, how do you earn your wings? How do you get your vest?
You just got to say the same things, you know, like level is horizontal and, you know, things like that.
Are you practicing?
Black
Oh,
hole,
so you
dark
just got to
energy,
agree on reality.
stuff like that?
Yeah.
Dark matter.
Are you
like that,
practicing?
right?
It's I win at bingo every time.
I thought you
Are you practicing? Sorry, Yessie, go ahead.
No, my bad. Go ahead, bro. I talked enough. Trust me.
Oh, I just noticed that B-Ball got his thing going. I was hoping he was practicing his presentation skills there with his modeling thing.
Practicing my presentation skills. Okay.
And I get the horizon always raises to eye level. Can I get one of those?
You think is that because you've seen George do all of his stuff with the horizon being above the crosshairs? It's amazing what you do. I mean, like I say it doesn't, but if you and George, you agree with George, that's another one. OLM, is that what you want to say? Because I mean, I've only ever heard George say it. Are you now going on the list with George?
Wait a minute. Saying you've only ever heard George say what?
That the horizon rises above.
Yeah, in what conditions? I think George.
Any conditions.
Said in certain conditions that happened.
Yeah. I was like, I've never heard anybody ever say that before. George gave us pictures of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he told us why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've just heard OLM say it as well. I mean, that's really weird.
Yeah, in certain conditions that would happen.
That's another one. So that's two. The two people that I've heard say that
why is that so hard to believe?
I'm guessing, Globers, right?
Why would that be so hard to believe? In specific conditions, that would happen.
Okay, well, isn't that something that you call the flat earthers for something for?
No, that just means he made an observation, and in that observations, that's what happened.
Well, I say it wouldn't.
Well,
right?
He's got an observation that showed that it did happen. So
okay, what's that mean?
That means he made an observation where that it showed that happened. Or do you deny the observation happened? You think he faked it?
Yeah, I think he just didn't set his equipment up properly.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. You think he faked it?
No, I think he's shown us a picture of the horizon above the crosshairs.
So
he's the only person other than OLM that's just said it as well. They're the only two people that I've ever heard that say that.
So, Bev, you think he deliberately pointed his auto level down at the water?
Do you think?
And then took a picture of it?
Do you think you can do that with an auto level, people?
Sure. I mean, is that what you think he did?
Theodolite, B-ball.
Is that what you think he did?
Theodolite, B-ball.
What? Okay. What do you think he did? How did he get the crosshairs below the horizon?
Just tilted it down.
Is that what you think he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Want me to get you?
Even though we all know he didn't do that, and he wouldn't present something like that, knowing full and well that he purposely pointed it down below the horizon, right?
Yeah, he shouldn't.
I don't think he would purposely do that. I don't think anybody would purposely do that.
I would say someone would do that.
In your mind, there is no refractive condition. Atmosphere could stuff in. It would cause that phenomenon. Is that what you're saying, Bill?
I've never seen it.
Possible.
Yes. I've never seen the horizon or the land that should be parallel lift above that. Never seen it, ever. Apart from with the picture that I'm going to show you in a minute.
We've got an observation from George that shows it.
Yeah.
And your contention is George faked it. Okay.
No, George just might
What
have
if it
not
wasn't
set
on
his
purpose?
equipment up properly. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure George is well aware of how to set up his equipment.
Well, you'd think so.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
I would
Yeah.
guarantee he's well aware of how to set up his equipment.
Okay. So that's one, and then that's the other one.
So
Can he
See,
even
there you go. Look at that. Check them
calibrate
two
it
out.
this level?
And that's over 2.7 miles.
Why do you think he would Why do you think he would show that?
What?
Why do you think he would show that?
I don't know. What do you think it shows to you?
Probably to show us the effects of the conditions in that day and the effect it had on the observation.
And what effect do you think it did have on the observation?
I mean, you're looking at it.
What he was doing.
Yeah. Like you can
I'm
see,
pretty sure
it
if you
looks
wanted
like
to-
you can see a bit of land behind it as well. Like,
If-
are you sure that looks like it's?
If you wanted, you could ask George, say, hey, man, what were the conditions on that day that
did.
gave you that observation? What did he
did.
tell you? What did he say?
He said he didn't do anything. Although he did give up, that guy from Maine.
Did he tell
said
you?
that
No,
he
Ben,
didn't know how to set his equipment
relax.
up, but George definitely didn't.
Bev, did he tell you the conditions on that day and why he got the results he did? Did you ask him that question?
Well, why should I have done? You should do coaching lessons next time we get into a debate. I'll be sure to ask you to
So you don't care
sum
about
up the question
conditions
list
of the day.
for us.
So you wouldn't care about the conditions on that day?
No, I was just shocked that I saw somebody that said the horizon rose above the crosshairs.
And
I
again,
found it fantastical. I thought it was amazing that somebody could do that, and I was absolutely certain he hadn't set his equipment up properly.
Did he?
But
and
he
again,
said
did you
no,
ask him,
definitely he'd set
Bev,
his equipment up properly because
did
he
you
knows
ask
what
him,
he's
hey,
doing, doesn't he?
Hey, this looks pretty crazy. What were the conditions on that day?
No, like I said, hey, this looks pretty crazy, George. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake and not set up your equipment properly?
But did you also ask him, hey, what were the conditions on that day?
No, I've just people.
Why wouldn't you ask him that?
No, I didn't.
Why would you not? Why would you not ask him that?
Because
Well,
as
pretty
you
sure that had a
know,
lot to do with
George
that
obfuscates like
observation.
fuck as soon as you start.
Sounds like
So
you're
I
off.
asked him
No,
about
Bill.
that, and he just went off.
Yeah, you're accusing somebody of obfuscating is a little disingenuous, pal. That's about
Yeah.
all you do.
What
Pretty
do you mean?
I'm asking you a direct question and why you didn't ask him about. the
I
conditions on
didn't
that day.
ask him it,
Well, why
people.
not?
You've only just
Well,
this
well,
moment asked me about it.
Well, you're presenting this as like, wow, I think because he set his equipment up improperly, and that's not the case.
No, I'm just
George
saying.
specifically says it was the conditions.
People, I'm saying George is the only person, apart from OLM, that I've just heard say it, that has said this. I've showed you the pictures, and I've told you my opinion of it, right? You can have your own opinion. Nobody's saying you have to take my opinion on. It's just what I think.
say?
You can do whatever you want. You can ask George yourself.
What did I say that you're quoting me on?
You said something about the horizon rising to eye level.
Yeah, I was giving an example of parroting that flat earthers do.
Oh.
Yeah, and
they were parroting George.
Saying something without understanding what the words mean.
Who's a flat earther here?
Yeah, but I said that's what I was saying. George is the only person I've ever heard saying that. So are you saying that they are parroting George?
Video on that, Bev, I've made a video called "The Flat Earthers Admit That It Doesn't Rise to Eye Level" because it was clear. And the fact of the matter is, it used to be said a lot.
By whom?
And
as I say, I've never heard
you guys
anyone
are slowly
say
realizing one by one that it's not true.
Other than George. So George says it, right? Are you okay with that?
No, George doesn't say that.
Look, he's got pictures of it.
I prove in my video, I show that you do a YouTube search, and you'll see lots of flat Earth channels claiming that. Not me.
Yeah, that was one of the main claims in the
I've never heard any of them other than
your
George.
Ignorance of something is not proof of anything.
I'm just giving you
The
the
horizon
pictures
can't
and
rise
telling
to eye
you.
level because there's a distance between your feet and your eyes. So
that was a pretty solid claim of flat earthers a while ago. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it was constant.
Yeah, to be fair, though, they have let off on that.
I think you're making it up. You know. I think you're making it up.
You would think that, Bev.
Only because it's too easy to show that that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that why George is saying
it was
it now?
you guys that started claiming it for us.
No.
Pushing us into claiming it. It's like, no.
We can pull up many videos where that's the claim.
Yeah, it's almost like we're making progress, you know? We had SE admitting that LIGO picks up gravitational waves. It's like bits and pieces, baby steps.
Mm-hmm. And Bev, you see the difference in those two pictures you posted? Notice how the one on the bottom is like kind of compressed?
Yeah.
You don't think that would have anything to do with the atmosphere on that day, don't you?
I just think it looks like it's from a completely different position, and with the crosshairs in the wrong position also. But that's just me, you know.
That's that same sequence of video that George I saw. I don't know, 8 months or a year ago. I think it was. It was all shot on the same day, I believe. Didn't move the auto level.
Well, it's like I say. It's not what it looks like to me, but hey, you can do what you want, think what you want. But it looks in that picture like it's above the crosshairs, like i.e. above eye level.
That was the reason, as I understood it, George was making that series of videos to show why it is you don't want to be making these sorts of measurements late in the afternoon.
George was showing that the flat earthers of old were correct when they said it rose above the eye level, right? It, in fact, not to eye level, beyond. George has done. He's gone one step beyond than that.
There's no reason to believe it wouldn't.
Well, so like when OLM was just saying it was fun and laughing and people were parroting it, I guess we can forget about that now then, right?
At the right place. You know, this is how you get the black swan picture. At the right place. You know, this is how you get the black swan picture. At the right place. You know, this is how you get the black swan picture.
Shore to shore. Ranty's doing that one, isn't he? Yeah, we've seen that.
It's exactly how you make a black swan picture.
By making the horizon rise above the eye level.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the old flat earther claims.
You can't see the shoreline on the 6 miles away. The upper picture.
You know,
you can sure as hell see it in the lower
pretty
one.
soon you guys might be wanting to live on a 2-dimensional surface. You never know. Sounds like you're going the right way.
No, I think the explanation is quite simple.
Bev, are you literally trying to rewrite geometry?
What?
Are you trying to rewrite geometry?
Am I trying to what?
Rewrite the geometry.
Well, we did do that in my geometry, yeah. For a laugh. It's quite good. It's pretty believable.
Why do you believe that spherical geometry isn't a thing?
What do you mean, a thing? Can you
like it's got practical uses in reality?
Really? What for? What?
Navigation.
Wow, that's nice. We're not going to have to get into the lights in the sky because, you know, I stand with Sean. Hashtag, I can't talk about any of the lights in the sky. So, is it involving that, or you want to stick to geometry?
No, spherical geometry, Bev.
Oh, that's that 2-dimensional surface, isn't it? Told you you'd be wanting to live on a 2-dimensional surface. Just give you the horizon rising above eye level, and now you're wanting to be on a 2-dimensional surface.
Are you under the impression that all of geometry is incorrect when they refer to the surface of a sphere as 2 dimensions?
Yeah, a sphere is a 3-dimensional Euclidean object to me.
So you go against all of I'm sorry, go ahead, Blue.
Now, the surface of anything is 2-dimensional.
I don't know. You could do that.
Blue, when you were, I got a question for you, Blue, if I could. When you're sanding your Cavendish experiment to kind of get it how you like it, was that 2-dimensional wood dust?
Okay, that's just a dumb question.
I don't even have any idea how to respond to that. God.
Right. So when you take sandpaper to the surface of something, it becomes 3D?
Are you asking me if a dust particle is 2-dimensional? Of course not.
Right. So that dust particle came from a surface, right?
The surface of anything is 2-dimensional by definition. You don't have to like it. That's just the definition. If you want to come up with your own way of doing it, go ahead. The thickness of a surface. How thick is it?
Are you asking me how thick a surface is?
Yeah, how thick?
Of something in real life or in math?
Life. How thick is the surface?
Surface of a table?
How thick is the surface of a cue ball?
How thick is the surface of a cue ball?
I know. It's not thick. There's 0.
That's right.
What happens when you sand the surface of that 3-dimensional object?
It's okay.
As if that makes it any difference.
You don't have to like it. That's fine.
Spherical geometry is the geometry of 2-dimensional surface of a sphere. That's what happens when you Google
something in 3 dimensions is a 2-dimensional quality. Is that what you're saying?
They're not talking about the entire sphere. That would be 3 dimensions. Yes. We're talking about just the surface.
The part of it that's in 3 dimensions.
Just the surface. Just the surface. That's the part you guys are denying.
In math, I agree with you in math, sure.
Yeah, sure. It's got practical uses in reality.
Check out the 2D, 3D displacement method that we
Yeah, if you put it in
devised.
water, can you put that surface inside water?
What?
Yeah, if a
Right.
surface is fully submerged into a liquid, then the volume of the displaced liquid will be equivalent to the volume contained by the submerged surface.
Correct.
Can I Google this? Where did you get this? Or is this something you made up?
It's logic.
This is just a meme you
It's
guys
an
made
if
up.
then, isn't it? If then up for discussion. Logical argument.
Let me read this. If a surface is fully submerged into liquid, well, first of all, if you're submerging something into liquid, obviously that whatever you're submerging is three-dimensional, right?
Boom! Thank you very much. In reality, that's where we are.
But we're not concerned with that. We're only
Yeah,
concerned
we
with
are.
the
We
surface.
are concerned in reality. That's
Right.
where
So
we're
you're
living,
only
people.
So you're only talking. You're talking about the
Yeah, we're talking about reality as we always are, people.
We're talking about the
Visiting
surface
Archimedes.
of a sphere.
By the way, B-Ball, you sound a little muffled.
Not the entire sphere. Can you hear me?
That's
With
better, yeah.
Cartesian, I do believe that with Cartesian coordinates, I can define every point on the surface of the cue ball. Do you not? The Cartesian coordinate system with an axis any place in the universe, I could define every point on the surface of the cue ball. You believe that or not?
Three-dimensional.
Yeah, that's a three-dimensional cue ball, right?
In three dimensions, yeah. I can define every point on the surface.
Yeah, it is in three-dimensional. Yeah.
Okay. I could define every point on the surface of the cue ball. You believe that or not?
Three-dimensional.
Yeah, that's a three-dimensional cue ball, right?
In three dimensions, yeah. I can define every point on the surface.
Yeah, it is in three-dimensional. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That surface itself has no dimension other than the area of the surface.
That surface of that cue ball has a radius in the middle of it, right? In three dimensions.
And it has no thickness.
So Mr. Sugar Cookie, I gotta ask you a question. So when I Google spherical geometry and it tells me the geometry of a two-dimensional surface of a sphere, are you saying that is incorrect?
I think a sphere is three-dimensional.
No. Do you believe that this is incorrect?
It's just your misunderstanding of geometry, people.
How is it a misunderstanding if it's telling me that the surface of a sphere is two-dimensional?
Because it's conceptual, isn't it?
Okay, question again. Is all of this incorrect?
The first 10 books of Euclid are about plane geometry, two-dimensional surface. That's conceptual. That's conceptual, so you can understand the proofs and all of that and the logic involved. At book 11, that's where we go into solid geometry, reality geometry.
Bev, I'm going to ask you again. Spherical geometry is the geometry of the two-dimensional surface of a sphere. Is this incorrect?
Which deals
yes,
with
yes or no?
Yeah, it's equivalent to the early stages of Euclid, and there is a conceptual change at the beginning within. You call them the axioms, but the postulates, right?
So
you know,
can
they
surface
just
of a
changed
sphere,
that, so it's still in the conceptual stage.
Okay, so can the surface of a sphere be two-dimensional? Just the surface?
I say not. I say not.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so your contention is that all of spherical geometry, when it says this, is all incorrect.
I say a sphere in
When it says
reality is a three-dimensional shape and thus
Is it in-
has
are
a
they talking ab-
three-dimensional
But
surface.
Bev, are they talking about the entire sphere, Bev?
They're talking about the conceptual geometry, people.
They're talking about the surface, right?
They're
It says the
talking
surface.
about
It
the
doesn't say.
conceptual
It says
geometry, people. Don't
it
get
says-
that mistaken with
It says
reality,
the
please.
it says the geometry of the two-dimensional surface. Surface. Again, surface.
Yeah, two-dimensional.
How do you have depth to two dimensions?
In this context, the word sphere refers only to the two-dimensional surface.
Do you
That's
know what
it.
2D is, B-Ball?
Conceptually.
So,
So-
Bev, are you saying
Right,
that
you can't have depth with two
three-dimensional?
dimensions.
Are you saying a surface? can be
Nobody's
three-dimensional?
nobody is concerned with the depth.
Well, sure you are.
No, we're just talking about the
We have a
surface.
3D object, so
No,
you
we're
automatically
just talking about the surface again.
the surface of a 3D object is 3D.
No, the surface of a 3D object is just the surface, like the surface of a cube.
In
the
concept,
surface
I can
of a
see how you
cone.
can think that conceptually.
Yeah,
Well,
count-
that's what spherical
dimensions.
geometry is. Just the
Length
surface,
and width. Yeah, but no depth.
no depth.
Yeah.
That's only 2, not 3.
But that's a plane surface.
Yes, Bev. Yes.
A plane surface has no curvature.
On a sphere, yes, it can.
Oh, cool. Can you not see it's conceptual yet?
It can be measured, Bev. It can be measured. We can use this
How is
to
depth
measure.
measured? How is
it
depth
can be-
measured in 2D?
It's not. It's not. We're not concerned with
Thank
depth.
you. Thank you.
We're not concerned. We're again. We're not concerned with depth. That's the thing you guys are missing.
You're jumping
So,
from
yes,
2D to 3D, though.
So yes, the surface of a sphere is 2 dimensions. Just the surface. If I cut out a 1 inch by 1 inch square of a beach ball, I'm just
Can you
getting that
touch
little square, right?
Can you touch that surface?
Yes, I can touch the surface. Yes.
Okay, boom, 3D. Thank you.
Is there any depth
Damn
to that
3D.
surface? There's no depth to that surface. How deep? If I touch the surface, is my finger
Calculate
going to
it.
go? I'm sorry.
I don't know
Bev.
how far did your finger get indented. I don't
didn't.
know.
It didn't.
So then you didn't touch it.
Oh God.
It's 3D, then tell me how to calculate the volume of the surface.
What? Put it in the do the 2D, 3D displacement method.
It's in 3 dimensions. All right, show it to me. How do you do that?
Put the meme up there before.
Calculate show me how you calculate the
You
volume
measure
of the
it. If
surface.
the surface is fully submerged into a liquid,
three-dimensional
then the
surface.
volume of the displaced liquid will be equivalent to the volume contained by the submerged surface.
What's the volume of the surface? Not the volume contained within the surface. Volume of the surface.
Well, you just put the
If
surface
you're
in
claiming
there,
it's
right?
3D, then it
just
has to have
just put
volume.
the surface in the water on its own.
That's not the volume of the surface. That's the volume of the object.
Okay. That's handy then, isn't it? It seems as though the volume of the surface is the same as the volume of the entire thing.
It certainly is not.
No.
Volume of
Are
the
you talking about
surface
the
is an
area of the
oxymoron.
surface?
That little, I like B-balls.
If it was 2D, how much water would it displace?
The piece of that big beach ball that you have, has a thickness. The piece, yes. The measurement of its surface, no.
I'm guessing that you're talking about area, not volume.
Yes.
A two-dimensional surface is a plane surface, isn't it? So
Yep.
It's Euclidean plane geometry.
Imagine if you took a sphere and you broke it up into a million different individual
A
planes.
sphere is a non-developable surface. You should know
Could you
that.
could you make a
Means
round object with a million little squares?
It means it cannot be expressed on a two-dimensional surface without distortion. It's a
Bev,
weird contradiction that you're going to
do
have
you
to
think
deal
you
with,
could-
people.
Bev, do you think you could make a sphere and a round object with a million little squares?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
It wouldn't be round. It wouldn't be spherical.
It would be a
Could you-
polygon, right?
Could you do it in?
Yeah, it would
could
be
you
a
make?
disco.
Could you use 10 million squares?
You could
Or
use
50
it, but it
million?
wouldn't make it round
How-
because you're using
how many would I have to-
squares.
How many squares would I have to use in order to make
0.
You couldn't do
I
it.
could probably
0.
use an infinite number of
You
squares,
can't
right?
do it.
Couldn't I
It's
use an infinite
defined
number
from
of
a center point and a radius.
If I had a sphere with an infinite number of squares, would you be able to tell the difference?
If okay.
Would you be able to tell the difference?
Me? Yeah, because you told me you'd used squares. I would instantly know you can't make a sphere.
What if they were microscopic squares and you couldn't
They'd
tell?
still be squares, B-ball.
But you wouldn't be able to tell.
Can't make a sphere out of squares.
It'd be a sphere, right?
You could make a sphere with a radius.
With a billion tiny little squares, right?
What about
Would it not be a sphere?
It's
Would it
just
not
the
be a
centre
sphere?
point and the distance from that centre, people. That's the only way you make a sphere or a circle.
Let me see if I can find one. I know I
You'd
got
make
one
a
here somewhere.
You'd have an X, Y, and Z, and you'd have a radius.
I've got a map in my hands that folds into a globe into an icosahedron. Only
Sweet.
20 sides.
Is that a sphere?
And it's still more accurate than any flat map ever made.
I think I got one somewhere.
Since you've seen the, from the top, everything, so you know, right? So you know how
It's my last video. Check it out.
Wow. How much have you actually looked into this geometry stuff, B-Ball?
It's the Dymaxion. The Dymaxion map. My R. Buckminster Fuller is the most accurate map with the least distortions per the Tissot's indicatrix.
Great. Okay, I think you asked a question, or somebody was asked a question.
I look into geometry. The thing is, I don't like deny an entire section of geometry to continue to believe the Earth is not a sphere.
But you know a two-dimensional surface is a plane surface, and yet you think a sphere can be that as well.
That is not right.
With no depth and
Let me see, I have a
conceptual.
little video about geodesics real quick. I want to see if I can post it. You can take a look at it.
Septic says they're a load of just infinitely small straight lines, right? So it's just straight lines again, like you with your squares, infinite numbers of squares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would eventually make a sphere.
Straight lines.
Yes, that would make a sphere eventually.
Yeah, it sounds like you're stuck in computer world with pixels.
Let me see if I can find it. It's a pretty good one.
So what is it that makes
Who is
you
the silly
think you
sod that
can
claimed
just
Earth should have
change
creases
that
in it if it's a
concept
sphere?
of a two-dimensional
So
plane
that computers
surface?
can't render spheres. They have to render polygons with high numbers of faces instead. Sorry, polyhedra, technically, with high numbers of faces instead. And there are sharp edges between those faces. So if Earth was a sphere, there should be sharp edges between the faces where it's not perfectly rendered.
Are you Earth
Nobody remember which idiot that was?
dude? We're just talking about two-dimensional surfaces here. What's up with you?
Blue,
Hold on,
you
I'm
mind
looking
if
for-
I
I'm
share
looking for
my
something.
camera?
Wow.
Screen capture. Damn, what the hell is that video?
Is the surface of a piece of paper, flat piece of paper laying on the table, is that 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions?
It's a it's in reality, Blue, it's 3.
It's a
That
piece
surface
of
is
paper.
3
It's
dimensions.
three-dimensional.
So, okay, that surface has thickness then. What's the thickness of it?
Well, you're going to put pencil on it. You've got the thickness of the graphite and the
Yeah, if you want to be
the
pedantic,
texturing
sure.
of the paper. Yeah, I mean,
I'd like
Yeah.
to know the thickness of the surface, not just a piece of paper. Let's say it's let's say it's a piece of
this is a
half-inch thick
really
steel
bad
that you can't
argument,
bend.
Blue, and we've heard it a
That you can't
thousand
bend and your
times.
pencil won't dent into.
It's going to
What's
end
the
up
thickness
with
of
you
the surface
talking about a
of a piece
square
of a piece of
area,
flat steel?
right? And squares are two-dimensional shape.
How thick is the surface of a piece of half-inch thick flat steel? How thick?
You realise that a surface is something that has a geometric term, right?
Realize the surface is a two-dimensional object. A two-dimensional concept, actually.
It's only, yeah, so to say it's
Plane.
only a concept.
A plane
Further.
surface. Yeah, a
Let's take it
conceptual
even
thing.
further. It's actually an abstract concept. Maybe beyond your ability to understand.
No, it's not, because all you do is
It
go
actually
measure
an
measure
abstract
two walls
concept.
and you get the square footage of a room. It's a concept.
That is an abstract concept. A surface is, because it doesn't really make sense when you think about it. It has only two dimensions.
Yeah.
It has no volume.
Yes. A plane surface, Blue. Plane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. So you're going to claim that a flat piece of half-inch steel has a surface that's three-dimensional. Gotcha. Okay. We're done.
I claim
And
a
here's how
sphere
you're gonna
is
play
a
and get it back to-
three-dimensional shape.
Or a sphere.
Yeah, we
They
know
reduce
we
the
know a
number of
sphere is a
sides
three-dimensional
to
shape,
the
Bev.
sphere.
We know that.
You can see if it go from flat to a sphere, and then to reduce number of sides. Yeah, so down to 20 is the minimum.
Well, a flat piece of half-inch steel has
I
a
don't
volume
think your
to it too.
camera's
doesn't it?
working, dude. I can't see. It's just got black
Huh?
screen.
I can tell you how to calculate it. It's not hard.
My bad. I'm looking for this this little clip that I was looking that I picked up a while ago about geodesics.
I can
Find it.
get you on with Septic, Team Septic. Telling you about it if you want.
Team who?
Got my
Team
got my
Septic.
perfectly flat piece of
Like
half-inch
the
thick.
flat
Or
earth
one,
sort of
let's make it 1
sidekick.
inch. That'll make it easier.
Who's Team
No.
Septic? I don't know who
Got
that
my
is.
piece of 1 inch thick steel, right? 10 inches by 10 inches, perfectly square, 1 inch thick.
Mm-hmm.
Has a volume of what? 10 times 10 times 1, right? 100 cubic inches. Anybody disagree with that?
Nope.
Okay. Now tell me, what is the volume of the surface of that?
Wow, Blue.
Dimensional, it has to have a volume.
Okay, what's the
What is
volume of the length of it
surface
then?
of that? 10 what?
What's the volume of the
100
length?
what?
Yeah. What's the volume of the length?
What's the volume of the surface?
What's the volume of the length?
100
And
square
I'll
inches?
tell
That's
you
not a
what the
volume.
volume of the surface is.
That's not a volume, is it? That's an area.
Oh.
That's what a surface is, an area.
Yeah. A two-dimensional conceptual thing.
That's what we're talking about.
I know. That's what we're saying.
Right.
We are not talking about the conceptual thing if you are talking about a sphere in reality.
In
That's what we're talking about.
reality,
Mhm.
I can take that 10 by 10, 1 inch thick piece of steel
Mhm.
and roll it into a cylinder.
Yep.
There it is. I found it.
Now, that's still got the same volume it had. It's still 100 cubic inches. Now, what's the area or the surface of area of that shape? And it's still 100 square inches, which is not a volume.
You've curved the surface, though. It's no longer two-dimensional, is it? It has a
It was-
three-dimensional form.
It's no different. It's the same piece of steel.
Well, yeah, but
Well,
that's-
it's three-dimensional, right? When you said it's a piece of steel.
It was
Yeah.
three-dimensional when it started. It was
Yes.
a three-dimensional piece of
Yes.
steel.
Yes.
And my question
Exactly.
was, what is the volume of the surface of it?
Well, it's not
You
about
guys
the
can't tell me.
volume,
How
Blue.
deep is the surface?
How do I
How deep
calculate
is
the volume?
surface?
How do I calculate the volume of that 10 by 10 by 1 inch piece of steel? The surface volume.
Well, how thick is the surface? You have to have a third dimension to calculate that. To calculate a
Exactly.
volume.
That's the
Exactly.
problem. It doesn't have a third dimension.
Yeah, it does. It goes all the way from one surface to the other.
Surface doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's the surface.
A two-dimensional plane has no volume to it, right?
Exactly.
But the sooner you make a box out of it, it's then a box.
No,
yes.
not at all, Bill. Completely wrong.
You're getting mixed up with your pipe thing, Blue.
You should probably watch the video I just
Your
posted.
pipe
man.
container, Blue. It's the same thing.
Bev, click on that video that I posted and watch it.
I know what a two-dimensional surface is.
I do too.
And I know what a three-dimensional surface is.
Bev, if you watch the first 7 Bev, if you watch the first 7 seconds of the video I posted, it kind of explains it. Even though you're probably not going to get it, but
yeah.
She said so that the curves. So if we zoom in so far, so that the curve, we can interpret the curved space as being flat.
Yeah. It can't be though. It's a curved surface.
Yeah, but again, Bev, you're failing to understand. You've zoomed in so far that you wouldn't even be able to tell whether the surface was curved or not.
But it is a sphere, so it's a curved surface.
Yeah, again, Bev.
Geometrically, I know that for a fact.
So far, you wouldn't even be able to tell. That's the point. You don't even know if it's curved or not.
Two-dimensional things.
Yeah, B-ball's two-dimensional thinking.
So
you're right.
it's treated as a two-dimensional surface because we've zoomed in so far, we can't even tell whether it's curved or not.
Done a good job on you, B-ball. Two-dimensional thinking, B-ball. Ooh, is it
That was a good one.
MK Ultra?
That sounded like cult rhetoric to me.
Cult-like rhetoric? How so?
Yeah, we can't tell. Zoom in far enough and you can't tell. Just believe us. Just shut your eyes and believe us.
Even though you know it's a surface of constant curvature, we want you to believe there's a bit where there is no curvature. It's fantastic.
You guys are
fantastic.
Fighting against this, saying that this doesn't exist, right? And we're telling you that in spherical geometry, you treat the surface as 2 dimensions.
Yeah, in geometry, the conceptual thing, like we said at the beginning.
Like the surface of the Earth.
No.
Conceptually, we're not.
That's reality.
The surface of the Earth.
That's a 3-dimensional Euclidean space reality that we live in. Not a conceptual 2-dimensional place that you want to live in. Which is really weird that you want to live on a 2-dimensional surface.
Bev, I'm gonna go back to the beach ball thing, right?
Yeah.
So if I took a beach ball and I cut out a 1 inch by 1 inch square, would you be able to tell if that square was curved?
You've told me you've come in from a beach ball.
Bev, would you be able to tell if it was curved or not? If I handed it to you.
What would you be handing me?
A 1 inch by 1 inch square.
A square?
Yes.
A 2-dimensional shape?
If I cut it out of a beach ball.
It's plastic, though.
Oh,
would you be able to tell if it was curved or not?
You cut a square out?
He's being obtuse on purpose.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
Are you?
I know.
Are you coming from?
How did you cut a square out of a beach ball? It's not being obtuse at all. How did you do that? How did you cut a square from something that's a sphere?
That's an obtuse question.
Oh my!
Like an X-Acto knife.
You really just asked that question.
Yeah.
You could cut any shape. It could be a triangle. It could be a dodecagon.
It won't be a square, will it? If it's come off.
That's the point. Are you taking this square from a conceptual spherical 2-dimensional surface?
I'm taking a large beach ball with a
in reality
with a circumference of 100. let's say the circumference is 100 inches, and I cut out a 1 inch by 1 inch square.
Yeah.
Would you be able to tell if that square was curved or not?
Yeah,
Yes.
it'd have curvature
How?
to it.
How?
Because it wouldn't be you would have it would be all warpy.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you 100% positive?
Yeah. It still have a curve in it. It still have a curve.
If I didn't tell you, or if I didn't tell you it was if it came from a beach ball, would you know if it came from a beach ball?
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be all curved. It wouldn't be able to be flattened properly.
Again, think about what you're saying. I took a large ball that was 100 inches in circumference.
Yeah,
you know what
big,
circumference is, right? Big giant ball. And I took a 1 inch by 1 inch square.
Yeah.
And I
just a 1 inch square will do, B-ball. It's a square.
I'd just lay it down on something that I knew was level, and it wouldn't be flush. So I would know straight away.
Really?
Properly.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to be flattened. Like if you put it on a table, it wouldn't be able to be flattened properly. It wouldn't just lay flat.
Listen, again, I said 1 inch square.
Yeah.
You can't cut a square. If you've cut a square, a perfect flat square out of that sphere, it wasn't a sphere to start with. You've flattened it or something. So.
No.
Yeah,
you
what
can
are you
tell.
doing to your sphere?
Well, geometrically.
Yeah, a sphere that curves in every direction, everywhere. Okay, go ahead. And then
So would you be able to? Would you be able to tell if it was from a curved
Yes.
object?
Yes.
Are you sure about
that?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think so.
Just put it on top of something that is actually level, some concrete or something that is actually horizontal level, and it will not lay parallel, it will not be flush, and you will be able to tell.
Is that your argument, people?
I don't think so.
Is that it? Seriously?
They don't like squares, B-ball.
Yeah, they don't like.
They don't like
3D
so
and
make
turn it into 2D.
Make it hexagons.
No, I love that argument. It's a
And
great
then let's
argument
argue
for us.
whether or not the soccer
Anyone
ball
with half a
is
brain
sphere.
would know it would tilt back and forth. You
Please
could rock it.
keep the square. Keep the square.
Go with the hexagon, B-ball.
Yeah.
Now let's argue about whether that ball is a sphere or not. Imagine making those hexagons really, really, really small.
Yeah, I got another good one.
And I don't get how
Why are
something
you
that curves
trying
all
to
the
get
time.
your sphere to look as if it doesn't have any curvature?
No, this one's
Why
good.
are you doing
Paige,
that?
This one's good. Let him go with this one.
It
Come on,
curves at
come on,
every
B-ball.
point.
Okay.
I mean, is there a flat spot in the beach ball or something that has been sitting on the ground for a while, or that? I don't.
So Bev,
It curves all the time.
why is it that I drew this triangle on this sphere, and for some reason it was more than 180 degrees?
Yeah.
Are you going to pretend that those lines are straight now?
Oh, they're straight.
But they have a
they're
third
straight.
dimension?
They're definitely straight.
So a line has more than 2 dimensions then? That means it's a curve.
It's got a triangle with more than 180 degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me,
He's proud
did
of
I do
it.
something?
He's proud
Did
of
I do
it.
something wrong, Bev?
Well, you've got a triangle with more than 180 degrees, so yeah, I'd say so.
But I measured it. I used a protractor.
It mustn't have
That's
straight lines
man-made.
then, I reckon. That's the only other thing that it could be then.
Where's the
either you're
picture
no
where they
good at-
meet?
Those are straight lines. That's
show
a
us
pretty
the
straight
picture of
line
the
right there.
entire triangle.
Oh, there you go. There's the entire triangle, Bev.
Yeah.
Page. Sorry.
So you've drawn it on a ball. So they're not straight lines. You've got curved lines. You've drawn it on a ball.
There's
So
the
what
ru-
do you expect?
There's the ruler we used.
So those aren't straight lines. I use a ruler though.
Yeah, look.
So essentially then, B-ball, you've got...
And you would have had to rock the ruler back and forth, wouldn't you?
No, it was actually a flexible
Yeah.
ruler.
No, you just draw a freehand. That's fine.
It's still a straight line though.
Flexible.
Did I have?
So
Did I have to? Wait. Did I have to?
It's a flexible ruler that I can make into a bendy fucking
When I-
whatever
when
I
I-
want, but it's still a straight line because
Hey,
it's
well,
a
the only
ruler.
way-
Come on, gotcha.
The only way you
gotcha.
can
When I drew the line, did I have to go right or left?
Do you know what a 3D triangle is?
These are called geodesics.
Oh, dude, I'm
Yeah.
gonna wet myself. Don't
It's,
even just.
They're called
Yeah, this is too.
geodesics. And they're
Well, the only way, B-ball,
they're
I
all
think.
segments of a great circle.
So from the center of a sphere is from a center point in that sphere, drawing a line out, which is, I guess you would call it the z-axis. That's the radius, and that radius, you keep that radius line constant, and you move it from angle to angle. That is what you're calling a curved line on the surface of your sphere. Now that line, that what you're considering the sides of a triangle, is just the inside of that sphere as the end of the radius. So that
Makes
is
no
not
sense.
straight. That is a curve.
They're straight lines.
No, straight lines don't have 3 dimensions.
A line has 1 dimension. Each of those lines have 1 dimension. They're just connected to each other at a point.
Oh, dude.
They exist in
I
reality.
knew I was gonna
though,
hear
don't
the
they?
Adam
This is the logic of the Bevs. They don't believe that triangles can have more than 180 degrees.
I think we just live in reality.
Dude,
Right?
it's just logic.
Well,
yeah.
this is I made this triangle in reality.
Mhm.
So I mean,
I wouldn't say it's a triangle.
sat-
if it's
I
got
sat
more
on my
than
back porch.
180 degrees.
I sat on my back porch and I made this. And I
But that
measured it.
beat,
Well done. It's good to
didn't
see
you
you
make
doing
sense?
something, people.
I think
Yeah,
I think there's a GIF, right? You can that's like you could easy enough for you to understand a GIF, right? I've seen. Do I need to post it? I will.
I mean, wait a second.
You drew
Does
it on a
anybody
ball,
say
right?
anything
Did you
against
make
what I
it?
said? Or are
Yeah.
you just going to wait past it?
Well,
I
we
mean,
know
it's
that
from
spherical. Well, this
radius.
is spherical geometry.
It's not a
If you deny it, but you deny it because you've been hanging around Bev too long.
It's not.
That's
That's
why.
not spherical geometry, what you've done there, people.
What
That's
it- so-
Euclidean
Oh, yes, it
geometry.
is.
No, that's Euclidean
And we
geometry.
don't deny
Bill, that's
the
spherical.
conceptual part of
That is
your
spherical.
what you call
Looking at-
spherical geometry. But it's conceptual. That's the whole.
It is
It's
spherical
not
geometry, I'm
spherical
sorry. You're looking at-
geometry, people.
You're looking
Please
at
don't.
three segments of
Your
three
latitude and
straight
longitude
circles.
from the center of the Earth, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk.
the radius of the Earth has nothing to do with it.
It's got nothing to do with the Earth. This is you getting confused
The
between
radius of that ball has nothing to do with that
three-dimensional
triangle.
Euclidean
Sure it does.
geometry.
No, Biff.
Yes.
The radius of that.
It's
That's
from
wrong.
the
I'm
center
sorry.
point with the radius. That the end of that radius is what is creating your so-called lines on the surface
No.
of the ball.
No.
Oh, a segment of a great circle is what's creating that.
Him drawing on that is what made the straight lines.
That's a circle.
Let me see
Which
something real quick.
in
Commonly known as a
spherical
circle
geometry,
in
that is
reality.
a straight. That's the straight line.
It's not a
That's
straight
the
line. It's
equivalent
a
of a
circle.
straight line.
It's a circle that goes all
And you
the
can
way
keep
around
talking
the
over me if you
ball.
want to, Biff. That's okay.
It's a fact that
Petra,
he drew a straight line
something.
and then he connected 2 diagonal lines to that straight line, which is a triangle.
No.
Definition, Euclid would agree with that definition.
See, three-dimensional Euclidean shape that people
No.
have been drawing lines
Triangle
on.
is a single dimension.
And so is a line.
Again,
don't think
here we
it-
go with the
Yeah.
denial. The
Straight
denial
line.
of spherical
You're-
geometry.
He drew one straight line
Complete denial.
and then connected 2 diagonal straight lines to the straight line on the bottom, which is
Diagonal.
what Euclid would define as a triangle.
There's no point going any further with this.
Yeah.
No.
I know
Facts are
this is where it comes to a full stop, right? Because you think a straight line is a circle, when drawn
No,
on
I
a
think
ball.
I think the straight line is a straight
I
line.
think
He
a
drew a
great
straight
circle
line.
is a straight line in spherical geometry, yes.
But keep it conceptual, Blue, and you can have that. Put it on a 3-dimensional Euclidean shape. It's a circle.
But
It is.
Jeff,
You
there
see
is
it right there.
Yeah.
There's a thing called
It's a circle. That's not a straight line.
Yeah, the straight line that he drew and then connected it.
That's bendy line.
The straight line that he drew, on the bottom, connected to
Not straight.
Yeah, it is.
You'll get stuck with how a tangent.
You're
What's a tangent to that sphere then?
In a different dimension.
He drew a straight line.
I've posted your GIF for you
connected
there. I
to
think
straight lines.
I've got your GIF for you. I think you did it in marker. I mean, we could do it in crayons if you wanted, but there you go.
What's a tangent to the sphere?
I could care less about your guys' quibbling about this. It's the fact that he took a marker on that ball and drew a straight line across
What's a tangent
the bottom,
to that?
and then connected two
I know it's no
diagonal
good
straight
asking
lines
Lael.
to that.
Who's
Straight lines don't curve.
Bev, who's worried about a tangent? Nobody's concerned about a
Straight
tangent.
lines don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
3 dimensions.
All I'm
We are
concerned with, I
bothered
drew
about a
three
tangent.
I drew three
Because
straight
this is the
lines
point that comes
on a
out.
ball.
You're not living in reality.
They came
Well,
out to more than 180 degrees.
How does Euclid define a triangle, Bev?
Euclid would be crying.
Great question. How does Euclid define a triangle?
Three
He knows that three lines
trilateral
connect to
shapes or triangles are that which are
Three.
contained with 3 straight lines.
Yeah, and each of those lines are straight, which are connected
that's
and
fine.
create 3 angles.
Yeah. Do you want the axiom as well? Triangle axiom.
It's all fine, Biff.
Yeah, I
For
don't think we
Euclidean
would.
geometry, yes. All nice straight lines.
Well, that's what it is, right?
No,
In
this is
reality, we
spherical.
use
This is
Euclidean.
spherical trig and spherical geometry.
No, that's it.
It's not
Have
the
you
same
heard of
thing.
a sphere? It's
There's
a
a whole world full of
three-dimensional
stuff out here that
Euclidean
you don't know
shape.
about. This just happens to be one of those things.
Blue, have you heard of a 3-dimensional Euclidean shape called a sphere? You might have heard of it
Yeah.
within Euclidean geometry, because
Yeah.
there
This
is
is
no
spherical.
definition for a sphere in spherical geometry, is there?
Really?
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. How
Let's
do you
fact check
have a
that.
sphere in spherical geometry, Blue? How do you do that?
Oh, check this out. Euclid's
I believe,
elements.
I believe it's implied in the name of it.
Euclid's Euclid's
That was a pretty weak answer.
Yeah.
Definition number 15. The axis of a sphere is a straight line which remains fixed and about which the semicircle is turned.
Mm-hmm.
Euclid's definition 15.
Yeah.
What book?
That's a 3-dimensional
Book,
shape, right?
6.
Book
six.
11.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Book 11. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So what's the?
Oh.
What are the first 2 definitions in that book?
I'm only. It only. The one I'm looking at only shows. I'm at 14. I don't see anything before that.
Oh, right. It says length, breadth, and height, thickness. That's the 3 dimensions, and then it says the surface is that which bounds it.
Now give us the definition within spherical geometry for a sphere.
Yep.
It keeps getting bounced between 2D and 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So who's correct? Which one?
Well,
is
give
correct?
us the definition within spherical geometry of a sphere, please.
Cool.
Spherical geometry is the geometry
I think yeah.
of a 2-dimensional surface of a sphere.
Okay, so
Conceptual.
In this
what's a
context-
sphere then? In that.
In this context, the word sphere refers only to the 2-dimensional surface. Other terms like ball or solid sphere are used for the surface together. It's 3-dimensional interior.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one I posted earlier. Yep, that's a good one.
Of the Euclidean shape, then, right?
So in that case, we don't live in a sphere. We live in a solid sphere.
Euclidean,
right.
three-dimensional sphere, right? So you have to use Euclidean geometry, not spherical.
Oh, you get to use spherical geometry.
How does that work?
It's
It's not very logical thinking you guys got going on.
So who's correct? Are you guys correct?
Yeah.
Or is the rest of geometry correct? Correct.
What do you mean? Geometry?
Yeah, we're correct.
So there's no such thing as spherical geometry?
Come on, what's your definition of a square?
That's okay. They don't understand it.
Euclid's postulates and therefore
Just give us your definition of a square in spherical geometry, will you?
No point in going any further with this.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Come on,
It's
B-ball.
just simple denial.
Just give us a quick square. A quick square. Come on, B-ball.
Have you rewritten the books, Bev?
I'd like you to.
Should we all go with you?
Just send us
your definitions.
Just give us the definition of a square in spherical geometry for us.
I don't think that. Why? What's the point of that question?
It would show us what you know about your spherical geometry that you want to claim.
A square.
Yeah.
A square or a solid square?
A square. Just a square.
See, this is the part where when they say you don't understand, but we do because we've looked into this and read quite a bit about it.
You do, but you deny parts of geometry. That's the problem.
Give us the definition of a square, please, B-ball. Go on.
It's a lot more complicated in spherical.
Don't be stalling.
Isn't it, Biff?
Pardon?
It says spherical geometry is not complicated.
Because if you want to define a square as an object that has only 90-degree internal angles.
Uh-huh.
Square in spherical geometry could have 3 sides, 4 sides, or 5 sides.
What? Sure about that?
No way.
Absolutely.
By the way, I didn't mean a solid square. I meant a solid cube.
Let's give us the definition then of a square. Come on, because
square on the surface of a sphere could have 3 sides, 4 sides, or 5 sides.
All right, a 3 or 4 or 5-sided shape
is having only 90-degree internal angles.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
Now, if you want to define it otherwise,
yeah.
If you want to say it's a 4-sided together,
yeah,
only works in plain
the problem
geometry.
is, we pull up these definitions. But
if you can have a great,
you guys agree with certain definitions, but you deny other ones.
If you have a great circle, right? If you divide that into 4, could you call that a square?
No, you connect.
That'd be
you
4
connect
straight
and
lines
span it.
connected together with an angle.
Oh,
in
Alien
between.
has posted it right there. That
4-sided shape.
little GIF he's got going on.
It's funny, in his book of elements, he calls it line.
Geometry. 3 sides. All
Hey,
the angles
man.
are 90 degrees. There's only 3 of them.
Hey, Bev, you should know this. In Euclid's elements, he calls a line without breadth.
Yeah.
Or is a length without breadth. So lines like he drew on that circle, like
dimensional.
Yes.
Yeah.
B-ball drew on that ball. 3 lines that connected each other and were
No, that's in
angles.
reality.
They have no breadth.
No.
They are a line.
No, that's in reality. That's a 3-dimensional.
Yeah, in reality,
Yeah,
he drew
not conceptual.
3 angles that are connected, which is a triangle. In reality, he drew that on a ball.
Triangle has
Let's see what was drawn on that piece of paper in the live chat or whatever.
I'm sorry.
I posted a picture of a 2D sphere for you.
Oh, nice. It's a nice one.
Triangles defined. Are you trying to redefine a triangle?
No.
Definitions. No. No.
If it has
redefine it.
if the triangle has three straight sides, with interior angles adding to 180.
In plane geometry, that is true. That is
So
not
you're
true
going to
in spherical
redefine. You're
geometry.
going to redefine a.
Oh, no, I
triangle.
didn't do it. I didn't do it, actually. I think Euclid was involved in it. Go back far enough and look into that. But spherical geometry has been around just about as long as plane geometry has.
Spherical trigonometry.
Spherical
Blue.
geometry.
No.
Yeah,
Spherical
trigonometry.
geometry is very new. Like Einstein knew.
Well, Bev, you said that a triangle can't have more than 180 degrees, and I just demonstrated that that's not true.
You redefined a triangle.
It's an axiom,
No,
dude.
we know that spherical triangles exist.
Do ya?
To you, not to us.
Yeah.
Right, because you guys have been stuck in your hole for so long, and you've been
No, because
listening
it
to
makes
Bev
sense
for
in
too long.
reality.
Pretty simple. A triangle.
You've been listening to Bev for too long.
Because we think
A
critically.
triangle.
Bev has created
pretty
his
simple.
own logic, and you guys are falling for
it's
it.
not.
That's the
No.
problem.
A triangle is a pretty simple definition.
If you were to take a geometry class, you think you would pass?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Triangle has a very simple definition. A three-sided thing, a three-sided object with three angles. Triangle, three angles.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, with three straight
It
lines.
doesn't say anything about straight lines. Show me where it says a triangle has to have 3 straight lines.
What?
It's got depth.
No
So that's
way
three-dimensional.
did you just say that?
No, Euclid said lines don't have depth. They just have length. And B-Ball's lines simply had length.
The whole of geometry is based around triangles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an object with three angles. It's a triangle.
That have 180 degrees.
Some
but I
do and
made
some
one.
don't.
Yeah, but I made one with more than 180 degrees.
It's not
3
a
angles.
triangle, is it?
3 straight lines, 3 angles.
And if you think about it, square, you asked what does square mean? Square as an adjective means it has 90 degrees.
So this isn't a triangle? Is this not a triangle, Bev?
And that's why that works on a ball.
Is this not a triangle?
You know there's proofs, right?
Bev, is this not a triangle?
No.
I think.
Oh, okay.
You've got 184 degrees, dude. Have you read that axiom before it?
I know.
Yeah, triangle is an object with three angles. Shape with three angles.
No, it's not a triangle. It's a 3-sided square.
Does that ball curve?
Of course it does.
Okay, well then the lines that you're drawing on it curve, so therefore they're not lines. They're curved.
They're not lines. Did you hear yourself?
Right, exactly. They're not lines. Thank
drawn
you.
with a ruler with a straight edge. They're not straight lines. Everyone heard that?
On the
Yes,
surface of a
they are
ball.
not straight lines. Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Right. Do you think you'd pass a geometry class? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, you just answered your own question.
That's a ball, right?
If I went to a college professor, a mathematician, and I asked him, "Hey, is this a triangle?" What do you think he would say?
He would say whatever.
Would he say no? Would he say no? No, that's not a triangle. What do you think he would say?
I think he would say what I say. He would say any shape that has three angles would be a triangle.
Try it, people. Go on.
Let me see.
Yeah, I'd use a smaller ball though. You don't want. You look a bit silly walking around with that big ball like that. But yeah, seriously, try it.
If I made a smaller triangle, you think?
I guess the ball isn't curved anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it absolutely is curved. Absolutely.
Okay,
is.
so
You would have to
Thank
change
you.
square to quadrangle.
Have you ever heard of Gaussian curvature?
Is a...
People.
Oh, I might have heard of it.
And it sort of tells you what shape the surface would be by the amount of angles within a triangle.
A spherical triangle. A triangle formed by 3 arcs of a great circle on a sphere.
Mm-hmm. The circle
is curved.
That's great.
Therefore,
Yeah.
the lines are not straight.
It says a spherical triangle. So is it not a triangle?
Not in the sense of that I know about
Oh,
a triangle.
oh, so
Triangle
this
is a
definition
shape with
is incorrect.
3 straight sides.
Why is your definition?
Spherical
Why is your
triangle,
definition
which is
truth?
different. You got to step. You got to
Yeah.
go a step beyond Euclidean geometry, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Bev, why are you the Bev, why are you the source of truth on this? Why should I believe you?
You don't have to believe me at all. You probably won't believe me, will you? I'm not forcing
Spherical
you to do
geometry
anything.
happens to be something that's sort of non-Euclidean, not totally.
Say,
There are other
Conceptual
geometries,
one,
too,
yes. But
like
if you're doing it
hyperbolic-
on a
hyperbolic
Euclidean
geometry.
shape, it's Euclidean.
No, Bev.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
If you're drawing lines on something that's curved, then that's a curved line, which is
So it's not. Oh, so it's not a triangle though. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Even though
It has the definition.
there's definition right here. I'll clip it.
The triangle doesn't have curved lines.
It
Are
has
there
a
3D
definition.
triangles? What's a 3D triangle look like?
It has a definition.
Let me see if I can snip this.
There are
The
two kinds of
spherical
3D
geometry is
triangles.
defined.
There's a 3-sided pyramid and a 4-sided pyramid. Yeah, I'm on a roll. Everybody. So yeah, a curved line is you can have a triangle with curved line. I just posted that. Yes, there's also a spherical triangle, and there's also I found 5-sided squares too.
Well, I guess this definition is incorrect because it says triangle. It shouldn't say triangle, right? According to you guys? Or are we not going with definitions anymore?
You can call that a triangle. You can call that a spherical triangle.
Definitely not a
Again,
triangle.
but again, if you want to define a square as a shape with only 90-degree internal angles, that could also, under a specific set of circumstances, it can also be called a square. You could have all 3 of those angles be 90 degrees internally.
Well, if you want to put concave and convex surface and have your 5-sided triangle or a 5-sided square, then okay, that's not.
Oh, that's why.
That's a definition of a square.
That's why hexagons work so well on balls.
What's beautiful
With
about
5-sided
words
squares.
is they. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's the beauty of words is they have multiple definitions. Yes, and don't be square, right? Don't make the same mistake of the famous guys that went and oh no, let's just pick the first definition of volume. Remember that?
Oh, you mean like Huey does?
The first definition of volume. One in a series of books. Boom.
Yeah, like don't fall into the QE trap of choosing the first one that defines what you want it to define, the way you want to define it?
Yeah, that was him, wasn't it?
Wow, guys. Memories, eh?
Yeah, I just paid, NASA paid me back, so NASA just paid me what they owed me, so now we're square. Boom.
I'm just kind of curious, Bev. Euclid was probably one of the elites back in his day. Why do you trust Euclid?
Probably a group.
He's an elite.
I'd say they were a group.
Great. So if he's an elite, why do you trust what he does?
Who says he's an elite?
You don't think he was one of the most educated people of his time to come up with his book of elements?
He made a logical work of art.
Yeah, he was educated.
Well, it's just logical. Like, you don't need to be educated to get it.
He was logical and educated.
Well, it's still logical.
Curve a line.
Can't be falsified, right? Have you ever tried? You're not going to be able to do it.
They're even wrong about the five-sided square and spherical
get
square.
how
That's
you can
that's hyperbolic.
Yeah, he doesn't like
Yeah,
they
it's hard.
pretend they know about geometry, but they don't really.
No.
Like, what part of the curve of that curvy line do you measure an angle from? Just the first part?
The guy in that video even shows you that when you cut that piece of paper out, like Bev says, the Gaussian curvature, it's non-developable.
Like that funnel-looking thing?
Hey, Bev, how do you become a mathematician without being educated?
You just look into Euclid, man. It's an easy book.
No, I'm asking you, how does one become a mathematician without being educated?
Start off with Euclid. Just open the book.
Yes, he was a mathematician, though. So I'm asking a direct question and you're dodging it.
What do you think maths is, Lael?
Where does it say Euclid was a mathematician?
Well, he's asking a weird loaded question.
Yeah.
It's a strange question. Like, how do you become a mathematician?
There's
a lot of ways you can become a mathematician.
Oh, Brad, the science guy's putting the thing in. Nice. What is meant by mathematical proof? A sequence of statements, each of which is either validly derived from those preceding it or is an axiom or assumption, and on the final member of which the conclusion is the statement of which is the truth is thereby established. No numbers. Just logically derived statements that prove the initial statement. It's not as hard as you think it might be, you know, Lael. The Elements is a work of art. See, you have a problem with that as well, Bebo, with your thing there. Because you've got cos A, and that's an angle. And you can only measure an angle between two straight lines.
Bebo, you do this a lot. From what I've noticed is you post an image and that's somehow supposed to prove your point. Can you explain your image, please?
Maybe one of those awkward questions, getting him to explain stuff.
Sorry, I had to go get supper. So, could the father of geometry not be a mathematician?
Depends what you call maths.
Well, I think Euclid would agree that geometry is math.
Yeah, it's like and
Maybe the
Pope
foundations
is
of maths.
Catholic.
Euclid lived long before Catholicism was around. Long, like 300 years before.
Yeah, I'm saying the Pope was Catholic. And,
Oh, great.
And Euclid knew math.
Euclid was a geometer.
And a mathematician.
And a logician. I don't know if you never noticed, there's no numbers in it. It doesn't use numbers. Pure logic. It's what sets geometry apart from what you think mathematics is.
Interesting. Euclid also wrote works on perspective, conic sections, spherical geometry.
He didn't.
I wonder why he would write
geometry.
something on spherical geometry.
He didn't do spherical geometry, dude.
That's weird because Euclid has works on spherical geometry.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he does.
Don't think so. Because
You cannot think so, but he does.
Spherical geometry is called non-euclidean geometry, and it wouldn't be much of a non-euclidean geometry if Euclid did it, would it?
That doesn't mean he can't write books on it.
It does. It means that it was made up after Euclid. Hence the non part of it. Yeah.
That means you need a time machine, go back in time, and tell him no, he can't write a book on spheres.
No, a sphere is in Euclidean geometry. It's a three-dimensional shape.
Sorry, he can't write a book about spherical geometry.
He
because it
didn't.
didn't exist.
He didn't write a book on spherical geometry. Don't take Lael's word on anything, really.
Why should we take your word on it?
Well, you don't have to take my word on it, but it's called non-Euclidean geometry. So
great. That doesn't mean he can't write books on stuff. He wrote books on optics, which had nothing to do with non-Euclidean geometry. He can write books on other things than Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, but not geometry, right?
He can write books on anything he wants.
Yeah, but if it was geometry, it would be Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, in 310 BC, he wrote a book called Phenomena, and it was a treatise on spherical geometry.
What? Are you sure about that?
The US has told him that. Come on.
Oh man, we killed WS on that just like a week ago.
I wouldn't, Lael. If I were you, I wouldn't take WS's word for it either. That goes for
I didn't even hear from WS.
Who did you hear it from then?
It's on Wikipedia.
Wow, you went looking for it.
I typed in Euclid, and it's under his works.
Go on then, show us the bit give us the clip where you got it, where it says that.
You can go look up Euclid yourself.
No, you can show us where you got the clip because you said that you got it.
I said Wikipedia.
Can we get a date on when?
310, I said. In 310, he wrote a book named Phenomena. It was a treatise on spherical geometry.
Nah, when was it published?
In 310.
No, when was it published?
Aristotle did it before Euclid. There, I just posted it.
Great, that doesn't mean Euclid can't write a book on it.
He didn't write a book on it. It doesn't say anything about that. It says in a book was about astronomy. Discusses propositions, right? He didn't write a book on it.
Okay, let me highlight the part that
I'm sorry,
in Aristotle, we can find evidence that spherical non-Euclidean geometry was studied even before Euclid.
Yeah, see, even Euclid in his Phenomena, work on astronomy discusses propositions of spherical geometry.
Wow, that's good.
Right in what else?
Well, that doesn't say. No,
if
wait a
it's
minute, that
wrote
doesn't
down
say
on
that-
the internet, that's enough for me. I mean,
No, that just says phenomena, a treatise on spherical astronomy.
No, spherical geometry.
You posted it. It says spherical astronomy, and it says blah 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 by Autolycus, who flourished around 310. That's you're stretching, dude. Stretching.
Well, look at what LOM posted. It says spherical geometry right there. Discusses propositions on spherical geometry.
Ever heard of Aristotle? Lot older than Euclid.
Yeah, I know that.
Wow, this is
And
good.
so Euclid never would have
Spherical
heard
geometry
of
lesson
Aristotle.
from this.
He never would have heard of spherical geometry, according to Bev.
Yeah, they would have done spherical trigonometry, but that was even after Euclid.
You didn't notice sarcasm. I was being sarcastic. You're wrong.
If you've
Of
ever,
course Euclid knew spherical geometry.
well,
Come on.
if you've ever looked into it and you know the works of Euclid, and you go from all the way through the books to book 13 and then on to data, and you look into that, you'll find the exact reason that spherical trigonometry was made. And I think you'd be shocked by what you have to do in order to get spherical trigonometry and the functions of it to work. But, I mean, you haven't, and you won't. That's okay.
How do you know I won't?
Well, you haven't up to this date, have you? You Googled something, and that's good enough for you. So that'll be good enough for you.
No. How do you know it's good enough for me? Why do you assume to know me better than I know myself? Oh yeah, you're a flat earther, that's why.
I'm not a flat earther. Are you like, why do you guys always have to inject? I've noticed quite a lot of the time round here. You guys bring up the earth, and when none of us are talking about it. It's really weird.
Excuse me, Bev. It says there many theorems about spherical triangles and compares them to triangles on the Euclidean plane. So they're even saying that they're not the same thing. You can't call your spherical triangles, they're different. Euclidean triangles different.
Yeah. Yeah, the sphere's a really odd shape when you get into geometry. It's sort of what you call undescribable.
Spheres are undescribable.
Go on, you do your best to give us a curve. Give us your description of a curve, Blue, please.
Hey, real quick, before that, I'm going to interject, Blue, real quick. I'm going to bounce out, and I just want to say thanks for having me over and unbanning me. And I think I sent you a DM. All right, I did send you a DM, so check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bounce out. Thanks for having us. See you guys later.
Later.
All right, see you.
See ya, man.
Yeah, go on. Give us your best description of a curve.
No, I'm not going to play the game anymore, Bev. You play all you want to.
It's because it's difficult, isn't it?
No, it's not very difficult. I just know that I can't calculate the distance between any 2 points on Earth without using spherical trigonometry.
You just measure it.
Oh, I can't calculate it.
You just measure it, though.
Spherical
If
trigonometry.
you're after a distance, you measure it.
Yeah, just go get a
I'll tell you
20.
what, I'll let you figure out the next right path for me.
Yeah, Blue, just go buy a 20 at your local Home Depot. Go buy a 3,000 foot long or mile long tape measure and measure the United States. Or you could use spherical geometry and calculate it, and it will be correct.
Or you can use a measuring wheel. Actually measure it.
Yeah,
I'm flying over the ocean, so how am I going to do that?
Oh, you're going over the water?
You know the distance between LAX and Frankfurt.
I just deal with the bit that I can deal with, right? Not some fictional place that we can't get to, Blue.
LAX isn't fictional, believe me, I've been there.
Well,
it's not fictional either, I've been there too.
Right. Is that what you were after, Lyle? Is that Blue measuring for you? He's been there.
No, I was being sarcastic because you're requiring us to grab a local tape measure and measure the entire distance across the United States.
I'm not requiring you to do anything, Lyle.
Bev, let me finish what I'm saying. Your requirement is to physically measure the United States instead of using spherical geometry and calculating it and it being right. You want us to actually have a tape measure.
No, I don't want you to do that, Lyle. There's no need for you
No,
to
you don't?
carry on. No, I don't want
Okay,
you to.
so how are we going to measure the United States?
I don't know. It's already been done.
And how has it been done? Spherical geometry.
No, surveying. Called leveling techniques.
And they can shoot lines and show that the plumb lines are not parallel.
Who can?
That sounds fantastic.
Yep.
You could take a really big ruler and measure the whole Earth, or a really long tape measure and measure the Earth. If it would be a lot easier, in fact, if it were a flat plane. That would be easier than a sphere. That's the problem. It's so easy to do it, so much easier to do it on a plane, that you should have already had a working flat Earth map that doesn't distort Australia or the oceans or flight times.
Talking about the Earth again.
Yeah.
You're obsessed,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show me one flat Earth map that actually works.
It's kind of that. Well, stick to screwing up geometry then.
Well, I've got a certificate on my wall here that says land surveying.
Can you show me one flat Earth map that actually works for everything on the globe?
I can show you all of the maps are flat, two-dimensional.
No, I'm telling you, I'm asking you, can you show me a circular flat Earth level map that can describe all the seasons and all the things we predict on the globe?
You're struggling.
Wow.
Everything we can predict on the globe, show us that on one single flat Earth map.
You show us that on your map as well. You show us your one.
I just use the globe. I just use the sphere of the Earth.
What?
And it rotating. But you cannot do that with one singular map of the flat Earth.
You can show seasons, can you?
Show us water sticking to that model.
On a globe.
There you go. A picture of the blue marble.
No, a real one.
You can claim it's not real, but what evidence do you have that it's not?
No, a physical one in your hand. Demonstrate it can be done.
I don't need to. It's on our sphere that we live on.
You don't need to. No, I just make claims. I don't need to prove it.
No, I've never been to Russia. I don't need to prove to you that Russia exists. It exists.
It's so good to hear from you again, Lyle. It's been a long time, man. It's good to hear intellectual conversation like this.
No, I just keep it very simple. I've never been to Russia, but I don't need to go there to know that it exists.
Same here. I've talked to a few Russians.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I've never been to any country outside of the United States, but I don't need to go to them to know they exist.
Me too. I've never even been to the United States, but I've talked to Americans, so yep. Snap. Hey, are your horizontals parallel with the plane of the horizon over there, where you are?
Are my horizontals horizontal to the horizon?
Parallel to the plane of the horizon. Yeah.
Mine are in Australia, though.
Sweet. Mine are here too.
Awesome.
What about you, Lael?
I don't even know what that means. It's a bunch of gobbledygook that means nothing.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it sounds like a loaded question. Define plane of the horizon.
Plane in geometry is a two-dimensional
plane
You know
of
what
the
a plane
horizon.
is.
You made a collocation. You put those two
Yeah.
words together.
Yeah. I mean, well, first off, I'm going to explain to you what a plane is.
No, that's not
No?
necessary.
What is going on here?
The plane horizon. You're going too slow now. Try to catch up. You
Right,
just
well,
invented
imagine a
something.
two-dimensional plane where the horizon is. Right? Now, are all your horizontals parallel to that?
You just invented something.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
So you want me to compare something that's invented to... No.
Well, did I invent a
play
thought in your head that you've never had before?
No, I've heard you say it before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Hey Bev, are you going to show us your measurements from your test?
And what would that do for you, B-Ball?
I'm just curious. What was your outcome?
Success. Thumbs up. Big grin. Maybe even both hands in the air going, yes.
It was a little bit of jealousy from my part because I only have 100 meters.
Are you gonna share your findings with the rest of the community?
He was live.
yeah.
I got up early to watch it myself.
You might catch the next one next time we do it.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
On Saturday.
Sweet.
I'd like to see some, actual measurements, since that's what you guys always ask us for.
You what? Do you want a ruler or something? What?
Like a measuring rod, like you always claim I need.
Measuring rod.
Magic.
Oh. Wow. I mean, I can walk around with the measuring rod if you want. You want a picture with the measuring rod? Do you want me in the picture with the measuring rod, like you've got? You want to make some more memes? Is that because you get lonely because you have got no one to hold your measuring rod for you? Put me in the picture afterwards.
Way to attack the person instead of the argument.
He's just getting creepy now.
Oh, he has been B-Ball.
That's
B-Ball's
what-
been
that's
making
what
loads of
Connor's
memes
been
with
at.
me, and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Glad. Thanks for taking the question seriously about the measurements. So anyway, I was slightly curious.
What measurements were you
about
after?
how
Do you want
what
some different
SE
measurements as well?
I was slightly curious about what SE thought about the my Bolivian Salt Flats video, but I don't know. Maybe he's out. If you're there, SE, no, still haven't seen it. It's been like over a year. Yeah, doesn't talk about
how
Bolivian
many
Salt
people
Flats
have
anymore
watched
though.
it?
But I don't know if it's because
Well,
he's
what about
seen it.
tell us?
No, we have to wait until he does a video like Sean where he's crying in it. Nobody watches my videos. He shares my videos.
Right. It's just that it's not that nobody watches it. I don't care about that. It's not about me. It's about him. All right.
Okay. Is that your best video? That Bolivian Salt Flat one?
Sorry.
Is that your best one? The Bolivian Salt Flats?
My best
one?
video. No, but it's the only one inspired by him because he was prattling on about it for a while, and now he doesn't. So,
well, can we get some
service to humanity?
Can we get some context to it?
Pretty good video, yeah.
Can we get some context to it?
The Bolivian Salt Flats prove that the Earth is a sphere because they're curved, and just like the triangles, I did a simple Google search. Survey of the Bolivian Salt Flats, and you know how we're drawing triangles or squared triangles on spheres, yeah. So likewise,
squared triangles.
They split up the entire Bolivian Salt Flats. So they split up the entire Bolivian Salt Flats into triangles, tessellated triangles like that. And the bigger the triangles are,
what's a tessellated triangle?
Those triangles.
No, what's a tessellated triangle?
Those they fit together like tiles.
Testiculated.
Okay, slow down there, cowboy. These triangles have more than 180 degrees. In the Bolivian Salt Flats.
Well, you can just say that, but it doesn't really mean much.
How do you get a mirror reflection on a curved
surveyors
surface?
did, all right?
Like the Bolivian Salt Flats.
Probably just went to like Google Maps.
Again, it's not about me. It's about surveying the Bolivian Salt Flats. Yeah, and those triangles.
You didn't even go there.
80 degrees.
You just saw some pictures on Google, and you said you did a survey probably. And it's like, come on, dude.
Was it tesserated triangles?
Testiculated.
Tessellate. Just forget the word tessellated. I'm going too fast for you. Just those triangles have more than 180 degrees. It's a grid. They split. That's how they surveyed the. Yeah, and they in fact it's so smooth and level and flat. Very little elevation change. It's so smooth that they calibrated satellites off of it. GPS satellites.
Oh my god!
It out. And all of those triangles,
where's your curve?
those triangles have 180 degrees.
Whoa! They calibrated
more
GPS.
More than 180 degrees. Those triangles in the Bolivian Salt Flats.
They calibrated.
You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but they do. More than 180.
Just asking, they calibrated satellites off of it?
He got satellite images, I think.
No.
He's getting balances off.
Watch the video, or read, or look it up yourself. Do your own research. But it was perfect for perfect and.
Perfect because it was flat, or because it was a sphere.
I think it was 2007.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. I've heard that. I've heard that one before, though.
Oh, is this he trying to talk?
That's it.
Effie Dogma. Oh wait,
he's gone. He's come back again.
Did Effie Dogma know about the? What were the coincidence bubble levels? No, never mind.
Yeah.
Been muted.
Did I hear a square triangle?
No, ALM was asking you something.
The science guy did a video on the Bolivian Salt Flats too.
Wow.
On you got a thing with the salt flats, huh? Okay, go ahead. Well, what's the gig?
Yeah,
What's the gig?
I'm trying to understand this, man.
I just explained that.
I think he's got a got you on SE, I think. SE.
You're saying it's really flat?
No, he made a video. SE used to talk about it. OLM's made a video, and now SE doesn't talk about it. And OLM thinks it's because his video that stopped SE from talking about them for some reason. That's what I'm guessing anyway.
SE, is that true?
Yeah, I'm curious.
That's freaking comedy.
Have you seen it or not?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, good. Stay in the dark. Don't watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch it. Who's this guy? Who's this dude?
Here, I'll go get it. I'll find it.
Ain't that one? Is that
Sure,
the Bolivian Salt
I'm always
Flats?
want to learn always.
I'll post it in a second. I'll go to my channel.
That's the one. Eric DeBay robbed that design off us.
And
you know.
somebody's joking about it's supposed to look like a funhouse mirror.
He did say something about
that means you don't
testiculated
understand
triangles and
not understanding
calibrating GPS satellites off of it.
Oh yeah.
I could have swore I heard four-sided triangles.
No, I didn't. I said a squared triangle because square means having 90 degrees. Nice try, though.
A square
Try to listen a little
triangle.
more carefully next time.
Wow, man.
Square means 90 degrees. You're a little bit late. You must have been snoozing.
Square
square
means
triangle.
90 degrees. Square means square, surely.
Yeah, there's 3-sided squares and 5-sided
No,
squares too.
that's a right angle. That's
90 degrees.
right angle, not a square.
And we had to go through the whole rigmarole explaining that square can have multiple meanings.
No,
But,
a square can't have multiple meanings. That's
wow. Just wow.
Yeah.
Don't be a square. Hey, I'm getting my paid from NASA. They owed me, but now we're square.
Well, now you can use it colloquially if you want to, but that's different.
Still means the same thing, though, right?
You can use imaginary
No, it
if you
doesn't
like.
mean that I'm literally a square. No, Bev. Let's try to.
It's always the same. That's what it means. We're equal. Right? Whenever it's used under the terms that it doesn't change. It's a square. And strangely enough, within the law of non-contradiction, you can't have a square being a circle.
Would you imagine that?
Most of us can't have a square being a circle, but some of us can.
Could be a squircle.
Well, you haven't studied alchemy.
Could be a squircle.
Yeah.
Or a squircle excess.
Spherical
I
access.
think my name was mentioned earlier, but I had to reset my microphone and turn on the air conditioner, so I don't know what people were talking about.
It's all right.
I heard your name.
Spherical excess. Way to go, Buster.
Oh, that was Bev's.
Well, that was way to go.
I can't take credit for that.
Spherical excess. Oh, this has been a great day, man.
Yeah.
Yep, spherical excess on the triangles on the survey of the Bolivian Salt Flats.
No, squircle excess.
Spherical. It sounds like an animal that eats nuts.
No, squircle excess.
And they made a lot of discoveries doing that survey. It's actually pretty cool what they did. They actually found that the salt flats are really compact and they conform to the geoid, or they align with the geoid which is gravitational potential.
Was that the hump or the drop?
The what?
The hump or the drop, or the slope, or the perspective. Was it?
Yeah, that's the latest one. Yeah.
Sorry, hump, drop, slope, or perspective. What was it when they were doing it? What did they find?
Drop, slope. It sounds like you're square dancing or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You said they found something at the flats. It's not flat. So we're asking you, is it a slope? Is it a hump? Is it a drop?
How many slopes on a sphere?
Oh, you tell us.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not sloped. No.
You mean a
Okay.
continuous slope on a
It's like
sphere?
it's a
Sphere?
big
Continuous curvature.
In fact,
Continuous,
giant
not straight, right?
parabola.
Well, that was
It's a
Blue,
giant-
that anyway. So I mean, sorry, Blue. Oh, he's okay. He's deafened. All right.
Sorry, I couldn't hear myself answering your question.
Okay.
What was it again?
Well, Blue had the slope, so he's not.
Oh
he's
yeah,
not
slope.
listening.
Yeah.
So you
no,
said it's
no
not
slopes.
that
No
okay.
slopes on a sphere. That's the answer.
Okay.
So
So
slope.
hump or drop then.
I was a professional skier for 6 years. You know,
Mm-hmm.
slope implies gravity.
Okay, hump or drop then.
How many humps are on a sphere? It's basically it's a giant parabola.
Oh, a parabola. I'm not
Yeah,
so
but
sure
it's
that
so
works
big.
either.
Don't expect a fun house mirror. You know, don't go off the rails there and forget scale. It's really big. In fact,
Okay.
it's so big you can see it from space.
Parabola though.
It's parabolic in nature. The whole
Wow.
Bolivian
Really?
Salt Flats. It's curved. All the triangles
Parabolic.
have
And it's
more.
parabolic.
All
Wow.
the triangles.
What else is?
Thought
All the
parabolic
triangles
was just a
have
U.
more than 180 degrees. How can you explain that? You need to explain that.
And you could tell it was parabolic because
Well,
of the
forget
angles.
that word for a second.
Really?
You just have to go back, and when we were drawing triangles
Well,
on
you said that
spheres,
was the shape it was, parabolic.
In reality, that's what we see. Those triangles have more than 180
Yeah,
degrees.
and I was pointing
How
out
do
to
you
you, how
explain
do
that?
you know it's parabolic? Because it's a triangle.
Well, no, forget
like,
that
is
for a
that with
second.
different, bigger angles at certain ones
Okay,
than other ones?
I take
or
the word
something?
parabolic back, okay?
Oh.
Just forget that for a second. You're gonna get all twisted.
Do you want to
So
get
just
a,
go
do you want to
back to my
get a better
original
word
question.
then? Go back.
How do you explain?
Take a mulligan.
Yeah, take a mulligan. Go back.
Yeah. How do you explain more than 180 degrees? Yeah, let's start simple before you get all
Ecliptical.
crazy. Slow
How
down.
do you-
How about
how-
elliptical? That
How
sounds
did
like
you
a balance.
measure the angles? How did you measure the angles?
Good. Good question.
Yeah, they surveyed it, and well, you have to watch the video to see that.
Oh. How can you not just give us a
I'm not
rundown?
going- I could hold you through it.
Okay.
You know.
Are you shilling a video? Are you
He is,
selling a
isn't he?
book?
Well, we tried to get context for it and
That's a good
didn't
idea.
get much.
Yeah. Calculating GPS satellites, yeah, and measuring the.
What, if
Bolivian
it's
Salt
satellites?
Flats. Yeah, there was a win-win.
Were they
win
measuring the
situation. They
angles?
did lots of things during this. So
the satellites were
one guy's gonna
measuring the
complain,
angles.
I don't give any
Fucking hell.
context. I do give context, and you get all triggered. So I'm just
No,
gonna
I mean,
like,
cool. Like,
go
so
on, go have fun. Don't
you
watch
calibrated
I
it
don't
by
care.
measuring
Don't stay
angles from
ignorant. Stay
satellites.
in the dark. It's all
That
good that
sounds
way.
great.
I enjoy it's more comedic when you stay in the dark. It's better that way.
So did you measure it with the satellites that you were calibrating, or did they measure it first and then use those measurements to
They
calibrate
did it on the ground with SUVs.
SUVs?
What?
Angular measuring SUVs.
Yeah, this is blowing your mind already. I know.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Can you
I'm trying to
show us
go-
how
I'm trying to
show
go
us how an
slower.
SUV measures an angle, please?
Parabolic, baby, parabolic.
Go on, how accurate? Like, who were we talking about? Accuracy, Blue. Oh, he's on mute. What accuracy do these angle measurements of the SUVs do?
They probably did the 3 coplanar points with the SUVs.
Donuts. Yeah. Is that how many spins you can do with your handbrake turn or something?
Sorry, I didn't post it yet. Give me a second.
So, Bev, I'm curious. You keep saying you are not a flat earther.
Yep.
So, exactly what is the difference
saying that
between
for
your
ages.
belief and a flat earther's belief?
What belief of what? What are you talking about? What belief?
Well, you're the one that says you're not a flat earther. You need to tell me what the difference is between
What my belief of
what
me
you
not
think the
being a
Earth
flat
is and
earther
what the
is.
flat earther thinks the Earth is.
Sorry? Because I say I'm not something, I have to justify to you why I'm not that thing that you think I am, that I've told you I'm not.
You choose not to
sounds a bit
decide,
backwards.
you still
that.
have made a choice.
If you're making a claim, why can't you just say
I'm
what
just
the
saying
difference is?
I'm not that, right? You guys one of the ones that want to give us a label, and I'm saying I'm not. Stop it. And you go,
That's a
"Whoa,
negative
well, you have to
definition of
justify
yourself.
now why I can't call you this."
Instead of being negative, can you give a positive definition of yourself?
Well, okay then. I will give a positive claim that I think you guys are bigots.
Well, what does that have to do with my question? It's a simple question. You're the one making a claim, so obviously
I'm not the
you
one
think
making a claim. You were
You're
the
trying to
ones
group him.
making a
Making-
claim that
You're
I
trying to
am
group him.
something.
you
That's
made
your
the
claim.
that you are not a flat earther.
You can't
So
prove
don't
it. You
say
can't
that
ask him to prove that he's not. You're saying he's something. You're the one making a positive claim, not him. You.
He is the one that has said many times. He's even got a video. I'm not a flat earther.
So he's not making a positive claim. That's not a positive claim. Holy shit, dude.
Calm down.
I have made a positive claim that level is horizontal, and I can prove that.
The logic around here is just unbelievable.
There is no logic.
I
Zero.
know, that's the problem.
No,
I'm
you
not
should
a
have heard him
flat
in
earther,
chat. A
I
mirrored
can't
reflection. They
explain the
can't even give me an answer of what they can demonstrate, how they can get a mirror reflection on a curved surface. I can demonstrate it on a flat surface with a mirror, but they'll talk about anything but the.
What is her problem?
What?
Maybe it's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
So
it's that we have a whole
says
bunch of
I'm not a-
supposedly smart people going around teaching our children a whole bunch of nonsense. Maybe that's what my problem is. That would be fair enough, seeing as I've got 3 kids that I've raised, and I would like to know that, what I was taught and then what they were taught is actually correct. I don't think that's too wrong. I'm sorry you do.
All I did was, Bev says all the time, I'm not a flat earther, and I just want to know what is the difference between his beliefs of the earth and the typical flat earth belief of the earth.
Do you know?
Is that
Do you know
really
when
that
I say
difficult
it?
a question?
How should he know?
Wait a minute. Do you know when I say it? Dogma.
that?
Do you know when I say that?
You got a video out saying that.
Do
It's
you
the title
know?
of your
Do
video.
you know when I say it?
Oh God, come on, Bev. You say it all the time.
Yes, because people say you're a flat earther, and I say no, I'm not a flat earther,
Yes.
right? So it is initiated by somebody else making a
So I'm
false
asking
claim.
you why your belief is not? I mean,
Why?
flat earthers.
Why do
believe-
you think I am a flat earther? Would be more to
Because
the point.
Okay, can I explain?
Yeah.
Flat earthers believe that the surface of the earth is literally a horizontal plane. That is your basic belief.
It's not my belief. I've never said that.
It isn't? So what is the
I
seed
say-
in your world?
You ready to listen to this? Level is horizontal.
What does that mean?
It means
Bam.
level is horizontal. Very simple.
Well,
Okay,
Effie
so
Dogma,
the
Effie Dogma, you
surface-
said the surface of what we live on changes all the time.
No, what I'm saying is when we're talking about the surface, basically we are talking about the shape of the seas. On a globe, the shape of the seas conform to the shape of a sphere.
Why'd
On
you
a
go to
flat
the
Earth,
globe?
the shape of the seas conforms to basically a horizontal plane. So that's the fundamental difference between flat earthers and the globe. Nobody says that there isn't terrain with mountains and everything else. That's never been part of the argument.
Great.
I've never had that argument. I've only ever said that level is
Therefore,
horizontal.
Therefore, it's a straw man argument because nobody makes that argument. Therefore, by definition, a straw man.
Who what?
What's a
Who
straw
doesn't
man?
make what argument?
Yeah, nobody said that you didn't believe in terrain. And
What?
so if the Earth's
he didn't say
Dude, are you all right?
Okay, so do you think that the Earth is a sphere?
I leave Dogma keep going because I don't know what you're doing.
No, I'm asking you a question now. I know you don't want to answer it, but I'm going to ask it again, and you don't have to answer. Just one more time. Are you a globe skeptic?
Yeah.
Try to soften it for you. Are you?
What does that even matter?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, what the fuck is this? Like,
you
really? The other
you-
guy was the one that brought
Are
up
you
the
a
word
globe
you said, not
fanatic?
Bev.
Are you a globe
Call in the White
fanatic?
Knights. Call in the White
Are you,
Knights.
are you a globe fanatic?
Right. Yeah,
Are you?
sure. Why not? Let's go
Yeah.
with that. Do you
Go
believe that the
hardcore.
Earth is not a sphere, or it is?
It can't be
How
a
about
sphere, can it?
Oh, there you go. Therefore, you're
Why
not
not?
a sphere, Earther. Great.
What?
Got it.
Because level is horizontal.
Yeah, because level is horizontal.
Yeah, I just forced you to make a claim.
What?
Pigeonhole.
Thank you. Thank you.
None of us dispute that the Earth's
Forced
not a
me
globe.
to do what?
So since you think the Earth is not a sphere, you think you're a non-sphere believing.
Do you think it
person,
is a
which
sphere?
means
Ah, you didn't use the
you've
other
ruled
words,
out-
though,
have you
did
ruled
you?
out cube? Have you ruled out cube?
Do you
Earth?
think it is a sphere?
I know it's a sphere.
Wow.
So yeah, just like
Do you know what a sphere is?
Whoa. Knowledge. Wait, knowledge implies experience. How do you know?
I look.
At
I
sphere.
have been around the world making observations of sun, moon, star trails, everything else, and there's no way that a flat Earth can explain anything that I have seen. Quite simple.
well, flat Earth's not here
Yep.
to explain it.
It's okay. He's got a
Explain
sphere
what?
though.
Not here to debate.
He's got a sphere, right? Everybody knows what a sphere is.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a round shape. It's like a
Yep.
ball.
No
Like a
uneven
globe.
mass there, is there? Oops. There's no uneven mass, is there?
What do you mean, even mass? We going to church now?
What is a sphere?
You don't know what a sphere is.
It's a shape, a three-dimensional Euclidean shape of constant curvature.
And that's basically what the globe is.
That's
except
what
the
you've just said
curvature
you
is
think
not
you
quite
live on,
constant.
yes. I know, I heard you.
I know. Yeah.
Where are the
I don't
mountains
stand
and
behind my
valleys?
claim.
Where are the mountains and valleys that exist in reality
Oh, God, come on, Bev.
on your sphere?
They're on the surface of that sphere.
It's not sphere then, is it?
Oh, God, please.
Well, hey.
Do we have to nitpick about this? Well, what do you call it? I mean, you can't have a spherical shape with mountains on it? Does it change that suddenly to a cube, or exactly what?
Okay, so it's not really that shape argument that you're having then, is it really? Because it's not really a sphere. And if you can't start
fundamental
talking about
shape
things
is
as though they're not
spherical,
what they're talking about, right?
So if it's not spherical because it has mountains on it, what shape did it turn into?
Don't know, you tell me. You think it's a sphere.
You tell me. You're the one that told me it's not spherical because it has mountains on it. So tell me what shape it turned into.
I didn't know about shape. I'll tell you that level is horizontal and how to prove it.
You
yourself.
didn't prove it at all. Where have you proved that?
I said where you can prove it for yourself.
Well, in your mind, Only in your mind.
I've already done it for myself. I'm fine.
I know. It's your logical argument. It's not so logical. Because you can't think in 3 dimensions, that's all.
I see in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, you can't think in
Everybody
3
sees in
dimensions.
3 dimensions, so that's nothing new.
B-Ball's got the 2-dimensional thinking.
You also have a problem with scale if you think you should see a mountain on a sphere that big, or a mountain that small.
What?
Let's put it this way,
Yeah,
Bev.
can you rephrase
It's a sphere with a rough
Scale.
surface.
I'm the
How's
one
that?
with problems
Is
with
that
scale.
okay?
Too big, no, too small.
Okay,
Ooh.
yeah, it's going to
I
be,
dunno.
if the Earth is really big, then the mountains are very small compared to it. But
Yeah,
if the
what-
Earth is the
what
size
scale?
of a beach ball, the mountain is microscopic and you're not going to notice it, are you?
What scale's that?
I notice mountains
Real
when I see
scale.
them.
1-to-1
Well,
scale.
the other
Nice.
point
I
is,
like
Well,
how
it's definitely,
how he
it's
answers
definitely
every
not
single
flat then, is
question
it?
with a question.
the other point is, what law says that a sphere has to have a perfectly smooth surface? Why can't a sphere have a rough surface? I
Oh.
bought in a lot of balls. They got grooves in them and everything else, and everyone doesn't say, "Oh man, look at there's stitching on that baseball. That's not a sphere anymore."
Well, see, this is your typical flat Earth. Everything has to be perfect all the time argument.
Wow.
Well, I
flat
know
Earth
they
again.
cannot answer a direct question with a direct
You
answer.
guys are obsessed.
Everything's got to get into these nitpicking semantical arguments.
That's
Yeah,
Bev.
And they-
Words do have meanings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
Where do you,
You do
Except
realise
when
you
you
guys
use the
have
wrong
come in
thing.
here with an
You
Earth
throw out
argument,
the
right?
baby
Hey,
with
hey,
the
wait a minute. You're on.
bathwater.
You're not on your channel. You know, you should go to your channel if you want the power to talk about bullshit.
We're here.
So yeah, you throw out a sphere because it's got a tiny, tiny bump on it. You're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Good luck with that one.
I just like to be geometrically exact,
Well, guess what?
since that's what it is.
Guess what? Close enough works for science.
Wow, that's a quote.
Yeah,
Close enough works
NASA.
for
It's
science.
true, man. It's true.
It's true, yeah.
Close enough works for science.
That's true. A lot of times, close enough is good enough.
Yeah. Except.
Geometry is exact, though, right?
Well, it's not in reality.
We've got to
but
send this
in
to
theory.
QE. He'll love this.
I know QE will love it because QE's a numpty too. Well, but he doesn't quote that one, the cherry picking weaseling bastard. I bet he doesn't quote that one either. How about this one? QE, you're too damn lazy to come out of your stupid echo chamber and actually debate people. I bet he doesn't pick that one either.
Ask Ranty.
I bet
He might
he
be able
won't
to get
answer
you
my
a-
question that I asked him a year ago when he came onto my channel and told me, "What's the independent variable of a model?"
I've never heard of it.
And I asked him.
Independent variable.
I asked him. I made a video asking him what. He made a claim that a walrus is not a banana. Yeah, and so I told him, well, if the
Wow.
Earth's not a sphere, what is it?
You
And
didn't
he
try and
ran
debunk
away.
him, did you?
So he doesn't like to come out of his echo chamber. No, he does not.
Right, won't. Unless he has the power of mute.
You're so accommodating as well, you guys. I can't imagine why he doesn't.
No, he's not.
wanna
The
come out.
guy's a bastard. The guy's a stupid bastard. He doesn't know. He
So
he's
hospitable.
like
I mean,
everybody
like
else
you-
in the flat Earth community. He hasn't studied science and doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Yet he has the audacity to say, "Oh, this you must obtain to this 5-step standard, or else it's not science." When he hasn't studied it at all.
Wow. Sounds like he's in your head, NASA.
Oh no.
Has he done?
I don't
Has
think
he
about
done
it
a
at all.
numpty clip of you or something?
You know, I have 1 or 2, but I don't care.
One or two.
Now, so unfortunately for you, there is
All
a
the
base.
people, all of his
What we
followers.
have to do, you guys don't even do the base. All he's giving you is the base
What's your background in
foundation.
science? What's your background in science, please?
NASA, all he's giving you is
That's
the
a direct
base.
question.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Close
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, close enough. Exactly. Like,
Well,
really,
sometimes close enough
NASA?
is good enough in science.
Yeah, it's good enough. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Are you high right now?
No. Perfectly sober.
His globe.
Close
I know,
enough.
you guys have to laugh at it. Go ahead, laugh.
Close
Give it to
enough.
QE.
Yeah.
So the flatter the
We are, darling, we are.
Bolivian salts, the more curved it is. I think I got that right.
Is a straight close enough to a curve to be for science?
Well, it must be. They use it.
Yeah,
so-
it's close enough. We'll call it a curve.
Well, you know, if you understood. See, the thing again, remember this discussion we had about the numbers telling you what your accuracy was? You didn't even understand that, so I doubt you understand the concept.
Peyton has to shield the hounds on your tail.
Huh. What's your background in science? I know Bev's got none, and I know that Paige has got none. How about you?
Science is just based in knowledge, right?
So what's your background in science?
Got knowledge.
I bet he's shit
Okay,
at
so
it. You
we'll
want to
say
see
none
the
then.
sort of stuff
Well,
he
another
can
guy
do?
will
If you
put on
haven't
none.
been taught science by the people he's been taught science by, you don't know
I don't care who you
anything.
talk science by. I just want to know when the last time you studied science was what? 9th grade?
No, I've been doing it every day for the last
No, you haven't.
5 years, dude.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
I've got a bachelor in
In?
science.
Oh, come on, NASA.
I-
Do you
The
not
fucking
know
amount of
what the
lectures and shit I've
scientific
watched
method
the
is?
last 5
I don't
years.
give a shit
holy
about my degree. I don't like the Masonic establishment. I don't
Masonic
give a shit about it, even though I went through it.
So, okay, another one I'll put down with nothing, because you...
Wow. He's like, you're marking him. Do you put something down there? He might be Mark. Watch out there. I suppose. He's just marked you.
He's marked.
Yeah, he is.
He's probably gonna track me with his satellite readings or whatever survey. But that's okay.
Did they demote Shills to bookkeeper
All right, and
now?
here's another guy.
Speaking of people
that know nothing about anything, in pipes the stupidest person in Canada.
So Shills has been demoted to bean counter. Write that down.
Bean counter. Well, there's something to be said for a bean counter.
Yeah. Everyone has a place, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what
No
NASA's
disrespect.
done, though. Do you get marked? Do you get more money for all of the numpty clips that you get, NASA, when you say that stupid
Okay.
shit?
No, if being in a numpty clip is an honor, because the head numpty thinks that stuff that is real is numpty. Does that make sense? No, probably not, because you guys can't think that far.
Head numpty thinks that stuff that is real is numpty.
And the head numpty thinks
Is that what you tell yourself, darling?
exactly, but it's true.
Right. So I think you're the NASA representative. Is that all right?
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, if you guys are just gonna sit here and talk amongst yourself in the echo chamber, I'll let you have.
It's Blue's channel.
Yeah.
This is Blue's channel. How dare you, Blue? How dare him? Of course he blew up.
Echo chamber. We're in Blue's server.
He's gone.
How disrespectful.
Wow.
Shame.
He lost his
Blue's
mind there.
well, Blue's got an echo chamber.
Yeah.
Echo chamber.
Here we are in Blue's
We're in Blue's echo chamber. He ought to rename his server Blue's Echo Chamber.
That just proves he doesn't. He just says the first thing that comes to his mind, no matter what. It just comes out. He opens his mouth and the bullshit just falls out. He doesn't think before he says anything.
Turn the BS to 65%.
Curvature switch on, and then put it into the plus mode.
It's like an
He just
app.
misspoke. He just misspoke. That's all. I think you meant circle jerk.
Oh right, that's here at Blues again. Is that what you normally do?
Blue's got a Blue's Circle Jerk server.
Yeah, that sounds even better. Yeah. Or you could call it Bev Circle Jerk Echo Chamber.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I think that's a must.
This is
You guys
Blue's
must jerk off.
server.
You guys must jerk off like every other day.
Wherever I go.
Talk about Blue's
It's an
server
echo
like that.
chamber.
This is a respectable server, guys. Come on.
And he does have
Yeah,
the Rule
let's not go
5,
there.
right? And you guys have been breaking that all night.
I actually called it a sea lion migration because, like, for every 100 questions asked, 0 were answered.
Yeah, because rule 5.
The sea lion migration. What is that one?
Oh, you have to ask Alem about that.
Sea lioning.
We migrated.
You don't know what sea lioning is? I'm
sea lion is. I lived in Seattle, so
yeah. Clap your hands and I'll chuck you a fish.
Like a large seal.
Sea lioning is when you're just asking a barrage of questions and not really wanting answers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's been made up by people that don't like answering questions.
In the sea.
Next question. See, I'm really good at answering questions.
Asking a barrage of questions without answering any? Is that what it was?
No, I think it's the way that they get out of answering questions.
Answer. Oh, sorry. You go ahead and give the definition. Yeah,
You're sea lioning. You're sea lioning. It just means you're asking questions we can't answer to get out.
Nah, it means that you're really not coming, it's a tactic more than honest curiosity.
Like, we're feeling better.
Would that be similar to
about
when you ask a
with
question?
our logic we made up?
Go on, I think you were sea lioning then. Maybe something else. Fundy muting.
When I was thinking of this sea lion migration, I live in Seattle when I grew up, and there was a sea lion up there that was eating all the salmon. So they caught it, shipped it down to California, and about 3 weeks later, it was back up in Seattle eating salmon again. And they have a fish ladder at a lock, so all the salmon congregate at the base of the ship ladder. And they, of course, it's going to attract a lot of seals and sea lions and everything.
They tagged it? Obviously. How did they know that was the same sea lion?
They didn't have to tag this one because he had a very unique face to him. And in fact, he had a name. I can't remember it. It was such a long. I think they called him Herschel, but he was very easily recognizable because he was a huge male. And I mean, they're not the prettiest creatures to begin with, but he was especially ugly.
Herschel?
Yeah.
Herschel. You heard of him?
Oh, no, I gotta look that up. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure that's what the name was. This was probably 15 years ago at least.
Yeah, seals and sea lions are really smart. They can be really cuddly. There was a picture just came out today of one hugging a diver. But they can be little bastards too. They will sneak up and take your regulator out of your mouth, take your mask off.
Let's just talk about how smart they are.
They're a little
I
bastards.
tell you one thing, they stink to high heavens because we were out on a boat and there was a bunch of them sitting on top of a buoy. We were downwind from them. Oh man, they stink.
Yeah, I go paddleboarding up to them. They come up to me. And I'm like, hey guys, and they just take off when I get really close.
I've never seen one scuba diving, but
paddleboarding. I go paddleboarding, so I see the elephant lions, all these. Sometimes I'll see some because there's a big little migration place they stop at every year.
Are you doing like that? Are you doing like that Hawaiian paddleboarding where you got a gigantic surfboard and you stand on top of it?
Yep, that's the paddleboard. That's just all it is, a big surfboard.
I bet an elephant seal really stinks, man. If they smell anything like they look.
They're certainly not one of nature's prettiest creatures either. Of course, I'm sure if you're an elephant seal, another elephant seal looks pretty good.
Yeah, and they're not the best mannered either, are they? They're curmudgeons. I think
they'll come up. Yeah.
I think they commit infanticide.
Infanticide?
That's the best one yet.
Is that blues?
Is that in blues?
Yeah. That's B-ball. That B-ball made that one for us. I thought that was pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Fantasize
Good,
when you
man.
kill your grape Fanta.
The other one with what was the other one that had you with at the dinner with Jesus Christ and the 12 disciples? I died when I saw that one.
What was that one? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're missing it, Effie.
The meme in the chat, I think.
There's been a ton of.
Ranty got triggered, didn't he? Because he was going up the thing with Winter Hill with the auto level. He's not going to do it.
Has he not done it yet?
No. No,
I thought
he's
he was
not
doing
going to
it.
do it. No. My prediction's
I'm
going to
waiting
come
for him
true.
to do it.
He's not.
We're all waiting for him to do it.
You have to ask
Predictions.
him to do it.
So long.
I don't know. Predictions have been made. No, he's got to go pick up the auto level that Ruhif bought him. Maybe he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, Ruhif
Well,
won't.
Bev, why
won't
don't you
send
take
him.
your auto level up there?
We're waiting for Ranty to do it first.
Yeah, come on,
No,
Ranty.
but,
I don't want to
Bev's the
take all
expert
of
in
his
this. He can
ranties.
take his up there.
He's going to prove the globe, isn't he? Like,
Bev-
you can't be doing that.
Yeah, he
Bev's
will.
done too much.
Yeah.
He's went out multiple weekends. We've watched him live. It's Ranty's turn to get the limelight.
He says he's
Well,
going to
Bev
meet
can join him
Cats
up there. They
again.
can set
We
both
can't
their
take
auto levels
another
up.
day out with Cats off Ranty.
I mean, they played pool together. He could at least take the auto level Ruhif bought him and sent it to him.
Does Ranty still live in
friends.
that
They're
area?
good
I thought he lived pretty close to Blackpool, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that far. I
What
mean,
about
it's like
conspiracy
it's
cast?
like
Where does he
halfway
live?
in between. Yeah, it's perfect. It's much better than that. I mean, he only had to go to Southport last time. Conspiracy Cats had to come all the way down. This way, it's closer. It'd be like in between them, I reckon. They could meet and then go skipping across the field together, setting it all up. They could get,
Randy
like,
would be-
Ranty's got a Discord channel. He could do it all live like we do.
I don't know if he'd want to do that though.
Well, he could do it live, and then we could all moan afterwards that we didn't go and watch it.
Yeah, where's your measurements?
Yeah.
Well, I did it live on
You
Discord.
didn't do it.
I
No, you
wasn't
didn't.
there.
But I wouldn't do it anyway because I've left the server. Too many doxers. Not a good place. I
Oh,
wouldn't.
perfect place. You don't even need an auto level to understand that. You see in curvature there.
What? At Winter Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big fucking hill. There's loads of curves. I see it.
Well, if you're at let's say if you're at 1,000 feet, what would a horizontal plane be to you?
Parallel to the plane of the horizon.
So parallel to the seas, to the water.
Yeah, all of them.
So if you're up at 1,000 feet, then any elevation you saw in the distance that was at 1,000 feet would be in alignment, correct?
Yeah, if you were to have a horizontal plane every foot, there would be 1,000 of them all parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Yeah, so at 1,000 feet, every 1,000-foot elevation would be in a line.
Yeah, horizontal plane, parallel to the plane of the horizon. Yes.
So again, all you got to do is look at a photograph taken from up there, and you can quickly understand you don't see this.
I took a photograph the other day from up there.
Were you on top of Winter Hill?
Yeah.
So where was Blackpool Tower and wind turbines in relationship to Snaefell?
Don't know.
How far away, if you're on that hill, how far away is Blackpool Tower?
I think on Winter Hill, Blackpool Tower is about 25 miles. The wind turbines are about 42, and Snæfell's about 90 miles.
Whoa.
Wow.
Sounds like you've done a fair bit of research.
Well, I think everyone's quite familiar with that area. There's been a lot of photographs taken from that area.
Have you made your prediction of what Ranty's going to see yet?
Yeah, I've got a video showing my prediction and how I made the calculations.
Could you give us a snapshot? Could you give us a snapshot like Ruhif did?
Let me see if I got one here.
Nice. So Ranty must be ready to go now. There's at least 3 or 4 people that have made predictions.
Well, it's not that hard. Simple geometry.
Can't think why he's...
Ooh. I did ask this to Ruhif the other day. What's the chances of seeing... Would you say Blackpool Tower was? How far from the top of the hill?
25 miles. It's in the 25-mile range.
Okay, so 25...
It would...
Sorry.
I mean, it depends on your exact location on Winter Hill, but about 25 miles away.
That's cool. So 25 miles, something 25 miles away with 30 times zoom. Can you see something?
25 miles away? Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Nice.
Indeed.
I did not understand what you said, Bev.
I don't know. I'm trying
why
to
not
upload
indeed?
a file here.
Why not?
Why not?
We don't even know what auto level he's got, because Rumpus has got come down to a 24 times scope.
I've got them in the message deals, my predictions. I was sent a link to the one he bought, and I forget the brand name. It's not a familiar one to me, but I think it's 32 times.
Oh, that's good.
With a field of view of about 1.5 degrees. So those are my predictions. I have 2 elevations. I don't know exactly where he's going to be. One's at, he sent me a link to his location, which was 1,475 feet. And then I looked on Google Maps, there was a parking lot down at 1,000 feet. So made a prediction for each one. Like I say, you don't even need an auto level to understand it. If you're at 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet is going to be above both Blackpool Tower and the wind turbines, and 1,000 feet would be a horizontal line of 1,000 feet would be below the top of Snæfell. So why would you see Snæfell basically in alignment with the wind turbines in Blackpool Tower?
That's impressive.
Well, Bev, you can take your auto level up there and show me that I'm wrong.
Well,
Set it up.
I'm predicting that Ranty's not going to do it first. Now, I want to be proved wrong on that one, because I think it'll be
I'm
brilliant.
not going to bet against you on that one, because I figured by now he would be up there. I don't know. Maybe you guys are having constant storms in England right now, but I mean, he would have to pick a day where at least you could see that far. But you might be right on that one, Bev.
And we had a conversation with George the other day. What would you call this?
What I call what?
The technique, the surveying technique of elevated observations. What?
I mean, how I...
Yeah, what would you classify it as?
Well, I've got a video that I made that shows everything that I did.
No. I mean,
basically, what I did is you start with a horizontal line. You start with the elevation at Winter Hill, and from that horizontal line, you would measure the difference down to the top of Blackpool Tower and to the wind turbines, and then you would measure up to the top of Snaefell.
What you're measuring
You can
with?
make a flat Earth prediction that way, and then all you need to do is figure out what's the curvature drop at each of those places.
What are you measuring
with? And then
with?
do another calculation, simple trigonometry. So it's just an angular measurement down from the horizontal line.
It's an auto
using
level.
The stadia mark as a reference.
It's an auto level. It doesn't measure vertical angles.
You can't. An auto level does not, like a theodolite, does not go up and down, but it does have two stadia marks, and those are based on a ratio of 1 to 100, and that equals out to an angle of 0.
No, it doesn't work with angles.
0029 degrees or something like that.
Stadia hairs do not work with angles.
They're based on an angle. It's triangulation.
They don't work with angles, though, the stadia hairs.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
They're based on a ratio of an equilateral triangle, which is 1 to 100.
Equilateral?
Separate that into two 90-degree triangles, and you got a ratio of 0.5.
Are you sure? Do you want to take
100.
a mulligan on the equilateral triangle?
And from that, Bev, you can do a calculation to see what that angle is.
Do you want to take
Simple
a mulligan
geometry.
on the equilateral triangle? Do you want to take a mulligan on the equilateral triangle?
For the stadia marks?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna take a mulligan on that.
You're going to double down on it?
Yeah.
An equilateral. You do understand what an equilateral triangle is, right?
Okay, not an equilateral, the one with two sides, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're
Okay,
correct
so
on
you
that.
do
I
want to take a
misspoke.
mulligan then?
Yes, I do. A big
It's
one.
isosceles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got me on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's only 0.1. The next one is it's a direct proportionality size difference between the distance it is away and the size of an object. Now, in order for you to be able to do that, you need to be able to measure something that has a size, a known size.
Well, you use it so when you look at, if you have a surveyor's rod, you can say, okay, well, it's 50 centimeters, and then you can estimate your distance from that.
Yep. But you need to have the measuring rod in those stadia hairs, as you need to have a measuring rod to be able to measure the horizontal.
I'm not using the stadia rods to take a distant measurement.
Which brings me
what
back
I
to
did
the thing.
was
What
use
are we
that
calling
ratio
it?
to.
What are we going to call this? Because this is new, isn't it?
What's new?
This technique that we're doing of taking
it's
an
not
auto
new.
level up a hill and looking out with it and not using a measuring rod. It's a brand
Why
new
do you need the
technique.
measuring rod? Why
I'm
do you need
saying,
the
what we're
measuring
going to
rod?
call it?
You're going to call it a horizontal plane that's been referenced by an auto level. That's what an auto level is for.
Okay, yeah. So
You
it's
don't need the
establishing
you don't need the
establishing a
surveyor's rod.
horizontal plane at elevation.
That's what an auto level does. You
Sweet.
set it on a tripod, you adjust the bubble until it centers, and then it establishes a horizontal plane. That's exactly what an auto level's designed for.
Fantastic. And Ranty's
I
going to
don't
be,
need the
hopefully
surveyor's
Ranty can be
rod
the
to
first person
establish
to
a
start
horizontal
this.
plane.
May become a new trend.
So you're saying an auto level doesn't establish a horizontal
No,
plane?
it definitely does.
what's-
Yeah, definitely does.
Okay, so what did I do wrong by
Nothing.
doing that and making a prediction from that?
Oh, well, making a prediction. I mean, what you're going to see, or what Ranty's going to see. I mean, it's fine. I mean,
I'm
it's a
Ranty's
great
gonna see
game.
what I show in those.
You guys get a chance to do your predictions, and then you can send Ranty off to go and do it. I mean, you'll get prizes or something. Who's the closest?
That's the problem. We're waiting for Randy right now.
I know.
You got a good point. He might not go up there. That's why I'm saying, why don't you go up there and prove me wrong?
Well, if I was to do this and be the first person to start this new thing, that's why I want to do it. I want to know what we're going to call it. Because if I'm going to be the first person to do this, I might want a T-shirt.
You might want a what?
A T-shirt.
I don't think you were the first person. I don't think you'd be the first person to take surveying instruments.
What's it called?
They do got a survey mark on top.
I know.
of
I've already done differential leveling. I've done that. I've done trigonometric leveling. I've done that. This is new.
This doesn't require differential leveling. All it does is require you set up an auto
That's why we
level.
need to give it a name, because I don't think it's ever been done.
Why don't we just call it establishing a horizontal plane with an auto level? That's all you're
At
doing.
elevation. Because that's the big thing, right? Going up to the top of a mountain. Like, see, we could see who gets to the highest, right? I mean, like, if I was to do Winter Hill, I could set the record, and then somebody else could go, "Oh, well, I'm going to take my auto level up."
I have a good name for it.
Go on.
Tool abuse.
That sounds good.
What?
Yeah.
That's kind of catchy.
Elevated tool abuse.
Elevated tool abuse.
Yeah.
That would work too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's catchy.
How about elevated horizontal plane?
That's too long and drawn out.
Yeah, it sounds sexier though, doesn't it?
It
wait a minute.
Have a little more sex appeal to it.
He's showing his old school stuff here. You know that there's no such thing as a horizontal plane, new school.
Auto level without a story pole.
They don't exist. Yeah. There's no such thing as a
I've
horizontal
seen people
plane
going to purchase auto levels for the first time in their entire life and not wasting their money on a story pole.
Yeah, you don't want to get one of those kits with a tripod and a freaking story pole, do you?
You don't need them.
You don't need to necessarily use a story pole with an auto level.
What?
Right,
to pull out a tape measure.
Do elevated tool abuse.
Tape measure.
Definitely.
To do tool abuse, you don't.
What's that?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, like, we don't put them off, Ricky. We want Ranty to go up and do this.
I want somebody to go up and do it. I don't care if it's Ranty or you. You have the qualifications, Bev. You could do this too.
The qualifications for what? Doing something that's never been done before. Tool abuse.
What, set it?
Doesn't require any qualifications of anything for this.
You've never set up an auto level before.
No, I've got an auto level. It's Ranty that's never done it before.
Set one up on you don't have the qualifications to do this. All it is setting up an auto level.
You ever set up an auto level without a story pole?
Well, I mean, like, if you're not using a story pole, then you don't really need to know how to set it up, do you?
You don't need a story pole for
Get your tripod or just put it on the floor, do whatever you want with it. It doesn't really matter, does it?
You're not going up there to do differential leveling. You're going up there to establish a horizontal plane and see where that horizontal plane of reference is in relationship to Snaefell and Blackpool Tower. Simple.
Yeah. Key word is see, observe.
Yeah.
You're looking through.
That's why you look through the optical device. It will have a set of crosshairs in there, and in the distance, you will see something.
But you might as well not have the crosshairs, right?
You don't need them.
Right, you don't need them.
If you understand the principles, you can look at a photograph that exploring the plane took at 940 feet and understand that this does not conform to a flat Earth, level Earth, or whatever you want to call it.
Is that at the top of Parbold Hill at 940 feet? Was that Parbold Hill?
Well, exploring the plane took a photo at 940 feet, so you can look at his photograph.
Yeah, was that Parbold Hill, not Winter Hill, Parbold Hill, Is that how
He took one up on Winter Hill too. He's taken a number of them, but this was on Winter Hill, and I think there's another woman, Cool Picks 900 or something like that.
Oh.
She took one with
Chike's
an
picture.
infrared.
Yeah.
That was
nice, that wasn't it?
Yeah, same thing. It showed that we don't live on a level plane. You saw the top of both you saw the top of Blackpool Tower.
Shows
almost
refraction.
in alignment with the top of the wind turbines.
2 to 3.
Almost in alignment with
But
the top of Schneefel.
What do you mean you don't live on a level plane?
We live on a globe. That's what I mean.
You don't live on a level plane.
If you come in with Bev and you say a flat earther, he's going to say, "Well, I'm not a flat earther." So
yeah, we're not.
I'm assuming he must be a level planer. I don't really know.
Why do you have to categorize people all the time?
Yeah, they got to pigeonhole people.
Why is it worth it? Why is it worth it for you? We don't want to hear this. Why do you care to tell us about this? Like, what's it?
Because you guys care to take the ignorance and stupidity that you have generated in isolation and to claim it on the internet as though it's fact.
Oh, hey,
When
Tony.
in fact we can demonstrate
Good evening,
there's
Tony.
multiple- Good evening, Bev. Do you now know what a spherical angle? Do you now know what a spherical angle is?
I think B-Ball was drawing us triangles with more than 180 degrees before, yeah.
Yes. Do you know what a spherical? Do you know what a spherical angle is now?
I have never heard of one of them. No.
No.
Okay. Well, then
That's a new
you're not worth talking to.
You ever
the person who's ignorant. I'm uninterested. I'm uninterested
Invent
in the
new
question.
words.
Wait a minute. First,
Invent new words and come in.
Oh, come on. Let Tony speak, please.
Inventing new words? In what?
Yeah.
Is spherical a new word? Go on to Google. Google the term
That's what you're gonna do right now. That's all we're gonna talk about right now.
Expos, kid gloves. Come on.
Yep.
Hey, gentlemen.
Spherical triangles. Google it now. You're claiming that I just made something up.
We did.
Sorry,
Gentlemen,
carry on.
Can I just make a quick
who's
statement here?
claiming
It's
what?
10:30 in the morning where I am. I've got an appointment at 11, so I'm going to leave you gentlemen to sort it out. So have
Maybe
a good day.
next
Take
time.
care.
Nice.
Dogma.
Nice.
Good talking.
See you, Dogma.
Hopefully
You
we
too.
can get
Bye-bye.
Ranty to do this test for you.
I would like to, because
Yeah.
I made this prediction. It's like, okay, he'll be up there this weekend.
I want to
Nope.
be proved
Maybe
wrong.
he'll be up there this weekend. Nope. Is he going to be up there this weekend? So, Bill, I'm not going to bet you on this one. I think you got a very good chance that no, Randy's not going to go up there and do
My
this.
prediction
That's what I'm beginning to
beat
think now,
everybody
too.
else's. Yeah.
But anyways, take care.
Yeah. Take care, man.
We can demonstrate that the Earth is not flat, level, that it is a spheroid, right? Without any appeal to optical evidence.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.